Yo, this is Beyoncé and Fernanda Motta versus my mental health, or vs my mental health. I'm going to try to keep this video short as compared to, the multiple hour-long videos that I've done in the past. So let's just get into it. So the other day, Fernanda Motta had posted this, and it is a picture of her and Beyoncé and another one of her Brazilian friends whose eyes are very open. Um, but and she might be involved in some way, I'm sure. But in any instance, this is the focus here is Fernanda Motta and Beyonce. So you can very clearly see she posted these two. You can go to her Instagram and figure out exactly. I guess it would have been. I took this screenshot about a day afterwards. It says 16 hours up at the top, so somewhere around that time. And then within a short period, uh, Beyonce posts this series of images, and on it she has very explicitly the name Chloe in on a gold belt. Take symbolically what this means for yourself. Black and white, Chloe on her stomach, right? And she's very clearly trying to make a point. And part of the point is that Fernanda Motta's daughter is named Chloe, spelled, I believe, the same way. And here I put this. You can pause it. This is what I'm guessing the point is, because it seems like, again, Beyonce is participating in whatever this game of harassment and abuse around me is that's been going on, I think, since I was a kid. I mean, I think probably it was happening to my parents and they were just unaware, or I think Yahweh kind of their mind so they don't have to deal with it as much. But we're getting to a point where it's impossible for me to avoid. And whatever this is, it's clearly aimed at me. And here's the second part of that. And I feel terrible. I mean, I just feel bad. Physically, I feel I'm hurting over this, because I think, again, they're using a form of strike you can do against someone that can physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually hurt someone, and that modern day science is not caught up to. And yet it's something explicitly written in the Bible, I think, for the protection. The Genesis 32 strike on the thigh, Proverbs 12:4, speaking of the rotting that can come from using someone's partner, or your partner being used in a way to shame or delay you or whatever. And Revelation 19:15 or 16, where there's a strike on the thigh of the one who comes back, or who's known as the Word of God, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, that seems to be associated with probably being struck in this way that I'm describing, which is why me having it would probably suggest that I'm this person. And that, again, all the stuff from Revelation 19 is just directly the gifts that you get from conquering at the seven churches of Asia, which is like a sword in the stone type situation. If you do this stuff at the seven churches of Asia, you get to be king of kings and lord of lords, much like you pull the sword out of stone, you get to be king of England. Okay, well, if you're the one doing this stuff at the seven churches, and I'm pointing this way because my Bible's over there, then you get to be the one. You get to not just be king of England, but king of kings, lord of lords. And I'm assuming it's because a bunch of sovereigns and shit have done some wicked stuff towards me, like evil, and that I'm just, a person of the people, and that the people are making a point that you cannot do this to someone. Especially like all kings and monarchs get divine right from God. And this is one of the reasons I think the Islam thing is going on, is because, well, if you can change who that God is, and change it to someone other than Yahweh, it's just the title God, or Allah, which is again a derivative title from the Old Testament that can be used of Yahweh, Elohim, which he is truly God, Yah, or um, like any heathen deity, Baal or Chemosh or Molech or whoever, right? It can be used for all these other deities because it's just the generic title God. It's when you say God, well, which God? Yahweh is a name. Allah is a title that's been made into a name because these people are trying to, I think, steal this idea of divine right. And that would be the actual patents of nobility or patent on nobility. Again, all this shit just seems to be an IP theft of my reality because I think that Yahweh is setting me up to be that person so that I can speak for him and for anybody else who wouldn't want to go through this. Nobody should or want to go through this. And I think nobody really does or would, but in any instance, I'm just trying to make this point. Now, it isn't too long ago that I very specifically made. Give me a moment to pull this up. Volcano's going, still kicking there. Um, if we go to I have this on my big external hard drive. Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio plus Fernanda and Chloe Motta. Logan, like the like movie with Wolverine. Didn't Deadpool and Wolverine just do a trailer? Why is that still going? Like, what's going on with that? Anyway, so then you got a trip to Chick-fil-A. I mean, it could be that it's something that I have the trademark on these things. They're properties, and then ultimately, if I'm the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and the IP's coming from me, I am awarded the rights to the property of all this stuff because it's just knockoffs. Everything is knockoffs of what is the biblical story. Even if it doesn't seem like it, like I think especially associated with me and what I've gone through, it is. But okay, I go to Chick-fil-A and then I make a part 2. Now this part 2 is the one where I specifically bring up actually even Olivia Munn and how I bring up this is a like a cancerous situation and I'm talking about all this and then all of a sudden within the next 12 hours Olivia Munn comes out, so like later on in the videos where I talk about that, she comes out and says she has cancer. So I think this video that only went into my hard drive, it did not go on to my YouTube, has been seen by people in a way that it shouldn't. Nobody should be watching my private. I mean, it is illegal, I believe, to be hacking my computers and watching my private stuff. And then using that also to steal and rob from me, like literally crypto stuff, because they figured out, like, hypothetically with opacity and whatever's going on with Jason Coppola and the opacity coin, OPCT, that you could pay off a developer in order to, like, have them stop doing it and basically do a rug pull and, steal money from me in a way that is, like, plausibly deniable. That's what it seems like to me. Else he was paid off with clout or some other bullshit. But in any instance, my whole point with this is, so in this video I talk about Logan, the movie. And it very clearly seems to me like, first of all, I think Professor X is, I guess all the characters are supposed to be me, but in my reality, when I'm watching it, what I see is Professor X is my dad, Charles Xavier's, Rayfield Wilkins Jr. I'm Logan, right? Wolverine, the guy who can take a bunch of hits and keep going and heal himself. I mean, how about this? Even when you see me get hit by the car on on YoTV or on this channel even, and I'm pulling glass out of my forehead and I'm literally like the car is more messed up than I am, and that didn't hurt. I mean, it didn't feel comfortable, but the thing going on with my leg hurts considerably more, as I've said, and it's going on every day. And by the way, my mom says that this has been going on with her for the past 10 years, and she had only told me about that about like like within the past week or two. As well as my dad, it's happening to him on the mirrored side. So it's on my mom's right leg, like on mine, and on my dad's left leg. So when I'm talking about, like, say Alessandro Ambrosio or something, and I can look in people's eyes and see that the left eye on a lot of people is having issue. This is why when I'm saying, my parents are partners. They're husband and wife. When I'm saying this, and there's a bunch of people that seem to be like that, both men and women, as if it's like a body of Christ that has decided to go a different direction, or they should have been part of the Christ. I don't, I'm still trying to figure this out exactly, but that it looks like I'm having the issue with my right leg and they're having the issue with their left leg. And so, okay. And then I think this girl initially was supposed to be Anja Ambrosio, because this movie came out in 2017. But I didn't play things in the way I think that they thought I would, as far as whatever. And so, in order to like keep this game of harassment or whatever going, uh, it became Chloe Motta, right? And that's what I kind of describe in this. That like in the movie Logan, like her mom comes and like takes her to Wolverine because she's heard that Wolverine can like help get her to someplace safe. And then they're being attacked by all sorts of contractors and mercenaries that work for some kind of company. When I'm talking about this secret lab here, right? I can just make sure. When I talk about the secret lab, like I'm in some kind of lab and I have to throw up my own lab inside of this lab to like essentially defeat it. And so that has become that, and it's transigen, which you can get whatever you try to get from that. But in any instance, if we go through here and to me, just by the way, I do think she even looks like Daphne Keene at this age even looked like Anja Ambrosio. Um, a little Neanderthal face. It's just a joke. I mean, is it? I don't know. I don't hate Anja Ambrosio. I just feel like she's been used to hurt me, and it feels really wrong. And they're trying to do the same thing with Chloe Motta, and it feels really wrong. But I've definitely like let's see if we go back. Here. So I'm making the points about what's going on here, and that again, when I'm talking about, hey, there's writing on my pillow, and I'm like, I could be trying to get over a message with the writing or with the different colors in different places, or it says too kind on her shirt. I don't know. I think they're trying to say I'm too kind or something, but uh, anyway, real power doesn't have to be like mean. Real power can be kind. The idea of a throne of kindness, Yahweh's throne is founded on kindness, and Yahweh is infinitely powerful. You don't have to be mean if you actually have power. So you don't have to be, but sometimes you actually might be to make a point. But so it says too kind and whatever. My whole point with this is it seems like this is being used to like mess with me and hurt me and make me feel bad. And so like when we move on, so I'm going to close this, right? And we move on to what's going on currently, and you can see that was March 13th of 2024. If you go back and you look at when my different recordings, that was March 13th. That's over a month ago. So the fact, and these aren't the first times Fernanda and Chloe that I've brought them up in videos. They're in Lightning Lab videos that I bring them up. They're in like in my story and pictures. My story and pictures, which should be private, which I'm also using in a way, well, if it's private and yet people are watching it, I should be able to say whatever essentially in it in order to finish this. Even if these are things that even if I would say them in public, I would probably draw a lot of like strange looks or angry. People would be angry at me. But like reasonably, if they're just things in my story and pictures, like I'm writing, stuff like this, it shouldn't be. I'm also going to say that the story and pictures that you're seeing currently, I've taken tidbits out because of how I get wild in it, and like that's on purpose. And like reasonably, if it's in my story and pictures, I should be able to just say wild shit beyond whatever, and not have people like trying to fuck with me because I've said things in my own private stuff that they shouldn't be seeing anyway. But that probably the thing that actually like, hey, I'm very clearly aware that you're watching was because when I said the private shit and they were like, it it spurred them to react when I said wild shit in a place that they should not have been seeing, and they did, and then they reacted to it. It made it abundantly clear that they were watching. So that's, if that doesn't tell you one of the reasons I would be putting all this stuff. Another reason is I'm just cut off at my sexuality, and I need some form of a wife that is not a whore. That, I'd like a wife that is a virgin. That is very difficult to find when you're 30 plus. But when I was a teenager, and it felt like, people were literally like, girls in my high school, which is all of a sudden is closing now for some reason. LHN, probably some scandalous shit happened there, right? My guess. But just the idea that it seems like from like a young age, not just in high school, when I was even younger, but at a young age, this has been going on for a long time, that people have been looking at me and doing inappropriate shit to try to stop me and hurt me because I'm the guy conquering at the seven churches of Asia, the guy who's pulled the sword out of the stone and gets to be king of kings. These kind of people, don't take this, when I'm saying these people, don't take this as some race bullshit. I'm clearly mixed. I don't give a fuck what your race is. I don't give a fuck if you're Jewish. In fact, I'm the only person that I know that's speaking up for what's going on in the Middle East as far as for the Jewish people that I know in person, and that does it in a way that is accurate, both historically, biblically, religiously, and just in every sense of the word. But, okay, so, and I'm just tired of all this. So I want it over, and I want it made up to me. I want to be compensated reasonably for having gone through such an evil experience, and that seemingly these people who are like, aren't they billionaires? Why the fuck are they fucking with me? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not someone special, it doesn't make any sense. If I am someone special, if I am the guy conquering at the seven churches of Asia, if the throne that Jay-Z and Kanye West were watching, watch the throne, if that throne is the seat that I'm seated on, the seat of power, and I don't mean this physical seat, though I guess, a secret lab might be something like that, but if it's this, as opposed to the supreme leader of Iran, if I'm the supreme leader of the United States of America, because you need someone in a position that, of religious authority and of truth authority to be able to call some bullshit out like that, because again, they follow a knockoff of the Bible. Okay. And that, again, the divine right does not come from Allah. It comes from Yahweh. Not some knockoff of Yahweh, right? Yah. Okay. So, Yahweh. Okay. But maybe, moving on. Anwai way? Is that like Anja? It's like Anwai way? Get it? That's a joke. That's, see, because by the way, she wants to be Harley Quinn. Oh, she can be my little Lego Harley Quinn. That's a joke. I might be Lego Joker. Is this how I get my leg? Okay, I'm just making silly jokes, but it's how I deal with this incredibly stressful and evil situation, right? Okay, yeah. So here's Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they went to Japan, and then they did the Maggie Moon thing where they're trying to fuck with me with Maggie Moon. By the way, I made a video yesterday of, just before we even get into that more, I made a video yesterday about specifically like an extreme rain event in China, right? And let me just pull that up real fast, or pull up my channel so I can just show what I'm talking about here. So I made this GFS extreme weather China, and then I talk about like, hey, this looks like there's about to be a like historic flooding event going on in China, and not just flooding. I mean severe weather, but the flooding looks like it's going to be like absurd. I mean, I literally think that this is going to be like, if it plays out like the GFS has it, and it still has it playing out, like today's run doesn't look that different. It's going to be so extreme that it's like I can't imagine that thousands of people don't die, tens of thousands, or are displaced. Maybe if they're told, me making this video, they could probably like, hey, you should get out of this area. That's kind of what I'm getting at, for at least like, the next 2 weeks or something. in and take your belongings that are uh, that you can't get anywhere else. You know what I mean? Your family records and stuff. Okay, so then Beyonce all of a sudden is like on top of a Chinese truck or something. I mean, I think it's supposed to make me feel like she's owned by China or something, but I'm pretty sure she is. If I was to guess more of anything, she's a oh no, it's this is Japanese writing, I think. I don't know. The writing down at the bottom is Chinese, I think, or Mandarin, right? Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know. I'm an ignorant mixed boy here in Houston, Texas. That's all. But uh the place that she never is yet claims to be, the queen of or something. Again, I think my grandma was really more of the third ward trill, which is why these people have done everything that they could do to like get rid of my family because I actually stand more for Houston and everything and America and just like God and everything funny and everything valuable and everything good and like everything. I'm just more of everything than her and Jay Z or again, I'm pretty sure he's just Gazy and it's Gazy. That's the joke. The G is a J and it's good job. Okay, or the J is a G. It's Gazy and gay electronica and you know probably not J Cole though, but maybe I don't know. Uh, uh, so I I just like it seems really obvious to me like yo these people are specifically trying to mess with me and like even here when I'm watching because a lot of these hold on a lot of these kind of YouTube like people in touch with spirit which are really I would just say like it feels like contractors that are looking at this situation and like getting me the message in a way that's in the same way that people are trying to do to me, like fucking Beyonce here, they're doing the same thing and they're in a way that's plausibly deniable, getting me messages. Except even what's being spoken of is if there is intelligence on the other side that's able to look like are these CIA contractors? Well, they're gonna have to be like it's gonna like a black op where they're literally like thrown to the side because and thrown under the bus, maybe this bus exactly, because of the fact that they've been so reckless and stupid about this that basically they've killed themselves publicly. Like the fact that they're willing to do this like this, they're super wealthy people that should not be harassing and messing with me. And when it says here, they look desperate because they need to apologize, you know, before it's too late, there is no plot. And if we were to watch this, and it's literally, he's just describing the situation that's going on, where it's like, yo, these people, if you're following these people, you're going to be fucked. You are in a world of hurt. Like, a lot of people are getting that point over. You get what I'm saying? And maybe even a point for Beyonce and Jay Z is like, these ain't white people. Like, can that assure you of like, you are overstepping? You have taken action against me in a way you should not. And like, when the news here doesn't want to cover stuff or whatever, well, the news isn't reality at this point. And if they want to be, they have to start covering this. And I would say this is why people don't watch the news is that a lot of people know that the shit's, not reality. What they're showing on the news isn't actually newsworthy stuff. What's going on is newsworthy stuff. And they aren't really covering what's going on. But where it says like, all these things, like you just pause it and read what it's saying here. Or go to this, it feels like they're just specifically talking to me to engage what's going on in my reality because this shit is clearly going on and I'm being messed with by people who should not be. They should not be. For all intents and purposes, they should not be. And my guess is they wagered all their wealth on the fact that they could, and they would get more if they could overtake me and beat me. But if they can't, maybe I get all their wealth. I get, like, uh, I take everything from them essentially. Like it's like pink slips. Beyonce's mine. Was this a race? All right, Beyonce's mine. The Queen comes back to Houston. Else, again, why would anybody in Houston not just talk shit about Beyonce very publicly, other than they're getting paid off? Because this lady has lost her mind. Like actually, she lost her mind a long time ago, and she thinks she's gonna get it back. I remember my cousin Ron saying like, don't you think like Beyonce kind of fucking turned dark like a while ago, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, like now I definitely do. But anyway, and like, okay, all this smiling and bullshit, like, it doesn't mean anything. None of this means anything that they're doing. They're just like puppets being used by like. I think again they're trying to suggest China or some bullshit here, or some other place. But my guess is it's some people. The idea of like protecting the country against threats, foreign and domestic. These are the domestic threats, and they're being, they're trying to suggest that they're being used by foreign entities, but you doth protest too much. So I'm assuming, actually, it's probably some shit here in America, like, I don't know. Again, contractors for some kind of agency or something. If that's the case, then that should tell that, hey, people are more tuned into what's going on than like than those kind of groups would like to admit. You know what I mean? So, okay. But I think this is like, they're just going so far overboard. And again, you can watch the video. Like, here, we'll watch a little bit and then we'll.
There's a channel where we're doing two of the messages. Channel. I mean,
I don't know where this is because I was just watching it live last night and what he was describing. And the night before when this one, you have them cornered, exposed for stalking you, Beyonce. Public knows you are telling the truth. Need to leave me alone, essentially, right? And is this also about Alessandra Ambrosio? I don't like Beyonce at this point. I don't like her because she's just beyond evil. And she's from here and she should not be doing this. It's like she has to be such a hypocrite beyond whatever. This hurts black people. This hurts white people. This hurts people that you're acting like this. You're a phony, evil woman. And like, you are not more powerful than some dude who's living with his parents. You get that? And that's even what he's saying. It's like none of the magic that they're using is working because they're doing magic shit. They're trying to, but they aren't good enough. And all it's proving out is basically like, the joke here is that I'm Constantine. And like, if we go, it's not as if this isn't something that I've been making points about for about 2,520 days. That's a number that I brought up before, which is the doubling of 1260, which is the 3.5 years from the book of Revelation or the book of Daniel. It's 2,520 days. Hey, that's exactly this odd prophet watching me, right? As if I'm a prophet, because as it says in Revelation, it's a spirit of prophecy. The witness Jesus gave is a spirit of prophecy. But okay, it's not that Jesus was just a prophet. He's the son of Yahweh and is Yahweh, right? And this is where Muslims get off track with this. And again, speaking of Muslims, hey, Nation of Islam, it's just bullshit. It's like they're owned by a bunch of Arabs that have a bunch of money. I wouldn't even be surprised if like literal terrorists own them. And okay, y'all are fucked. That's what that's what I'm saying. That's what people are saying, right? At a certain point, you got to realize like when like all sorts of people are calling you out on this shit in the same way that they're trying to be plausibly deniable to me, but like just listen to like watch some of this stuff. I can't make a video every time, but like she exposed herself for the hag she was all along. Congrats, Beyonce. You really fucked up on this one. I mean, I'm not even kidding. And like, I'm making this video because I just want this shit over. I didn't even have to make this video because clearly people are watching. It's like, I'll at least say this. As much fit as I give people, like, I just want people to say the truth out loud. It, like, not just say it as like, oh, this is kind of happening willy-nilly in the spiritual reality. I want people to be like, hey, Matt Wilkins is being harassed in a way that these people should not be. Though I kind of also feel like making it take longer and making it uncomfortable over a long period of time for these people who are super wealthy. They should not be uncomfortable, yet they're uncomfortable because they're doing wrong. Okay. So I don't know what I just clicked a moment on this video, but like he was saying it over and over, so it does seem like, we'll just listen to a little bit. But
Out of nigga shit every fucking time they hear yo or whatever y'all intro is to whatever y'all do or anything like that.
the yo, like, on, so this is why I'm saying it's clearly about me, right? If we go to my Yo TV videos, right? Yo, and then we go all the way down. By the way, this is the real Third Ward Trill. My grandma, Coral, and, might as well be the Oracle. And so when I was going to jail, when I was like doing all this, when people were lying about the situation around me and it hurting my family and it's physically hurting my family, this is why this shit needs to end. This is why there's going to be severe punishment for everybody who participated that knew. But, you go to the end. To the beginning. Yo. So what did he just say?
Every fucking time they hear so bitch, you're literally false flagging the fuck out of nigga shit every fucking time they hear yo or whatever y'all intro is to whatever y'all do or anything.
Whatever y'all's intro is. Yo. Oh, so that's my intro. Right, exactly. It's also the words that Yahweh God spoke to start everything. And Yahweh doesn't say, let there be light. He says, Yod Hey Yod, which is his own name. Yod Hey, Yah, or Jah, right? With a Yod at the end, my exist, basically saying to the everything be, exist. And even them, by the way, even in the Quran, it says, Allah, not Yahweh, is the God that says be and it is. Well, B is the name Yah, and so Yah exists. Allah does not. Allah is a knockoff. But anyway, there's a bunch of people who don't want to say the name Yahweh because they want to treat Yahweh like he's fucking Voldemort. But speaking of wizards and magicians, I'll take this. If you're doing this to help, which it seems like he is, it seems like she is, even though I'm kind of annoyed the way that certain women are handling this. Maybe it actually takes a man to just like be speaking truth on this, which is like, okay, well, I don't want to fall into stereotypes here, but he's just straight up saying it as it is, right?
Shit every fucking time they hear yo or whatever y'all intro is to whatever y'all do or anything like that, and they immediately start trying to get you off the shit or block the shit. That's illegal, nigga. Yeah, if you would just go be here, bitch, then you need to just be here. No one cares about the magic. You throw none of that shit, bro. Y'all do shit on the physical because your magic don't fucking work, bro. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's them working.
All this proved is basically like that I'm Constantine. Like, literally, I'm just picking up IPs left and right on this. Like, oh, hey, Odd Prophet, right? Aztec Death Whistle, right? And then if we listen to it, I mean, it is what it is. And then you watch Constantine City of Demons. Oh, Micton. I'm not even gonna say Mictlantecuhtli, ancient Aztec death god. No, it sounds about right here. Except, it's just this would be a demon, which is the idea of a lesser entity, something that's calling itself God that isn't, like Zeus, demon. Any deity is a demon that isn't Yahweh, because the way that this word daimonon is something lesser on a hierarchy spiritually than Yahweh, that isn't with Yahweh, right? Because those would be, if they're with Yahweh, it's some form of angel, probably. But if it's not with Yahweh, it's some form of daimonon or demon. It's like something that falls into a different hierarchy. Okay, these things call like all sorts. There's all sorts of gods in the Old Testament, right? Or idols. They're just worthless things. The idea is that they aren't really, like, they aren't supreme. There's only one supreme. Yo, right? You get it, Yah. That's why yo if it's prefixed, Yah if it's suffixed. Okay, just making that very clear. So the Mictlantecuhtli or whatever, you can watch this. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to get copyright struck. I don't think this dude's gonna like. I don't think he's gonna copyright strike me. He would have to see this even if he wanted to. I mean, I'm gonna tag him. I'll probably tag, I might tag Light and Stars Cartel and like Your Light and Darkness. But I wanted to show him because he's just straight up speaking to the situation. He's not even tiptoeing around it. He is just straight up saying what it is.
Diligently at this shit still overindulging in magic like that shit is fucking free game to do too. It's not. Like it's not. Anyway,
Partially, the reason this is a problem, it's not just disturbing me and my family. It started disturbing and hurting a lot of people. And again, this is how they fight this. They take a bunch of stupid pictures where they try to look carefree and try to look like, I'm strong and tough. But they aren't. They're really weak, shitty, abusive, evil people, right? And I would say this, it's also gonna piss off gay people that they're trying to act like this is like a gay, like LGBTQ thing. It's like, oh, the gay agenda. No, I think most gay people would call them out on this too because it's not a good look, right? It's like everything they're trying to represent, they don't represent, and this is also why I would say this is probably she's Jezebel, the fourth church thing, and she's even making this point like, it's if you put a U, cunty news, right? And I even that's in the thing. Okay, so KNTY. So okay, I mean it is what it is. If she's Jezebel, what's going to happen to her is going to happen to her, right? And I'm going to say this: I'd rather her be Jezebel than Alessandra Ambrosio. But if Alessandra Ambrosio is Jezebel, I mean it is what it is. I just want this shit over. I mean actually. So okay, but I'll say this: I also think Yahweh generally like if you pray for it, if I really want it and I really want to manifest something, Yahweh will do it for me. And I like Alessandro Ambrosio a lot for whatever reason. I feel like we've been connected for a really long time and I've had to like pull it out into the open. And like maybe she's starting to see it now or has seen it for a long time. I don't know. And I don't know what exactly the situation is with her and her children. I don't know if Andra and Noah have the same father. Uh, something even makes me feel like, did someone take my genetic material and impregnate? Did Alessandra Ambrosio somehow get that? And then like, am I one of their dads? Am I Noah's dad? Uh, I mean, actually, like this is the kind of also like weird psychical or whatever like mind fuck stuff they're trying to do to me. But at the same time, like, I see a world where shit works completely different than what you're taught, and like, that would be a very powerful way to either hurt me or help me. I can't tell. So we're yet to be seen on Alessandra Ambrosio, but in any instance, whatever is going on with Beyonce that I'm having to pull out, when this is forced out into the open, because the news is going to have to acknowledge this at some point. It is going to be impossible not to. And the longer they wait, the more wrath of Yahweh they incur on themselves. So I would suggest when people on YouTube are just very clearly saying like, essentially stop fucking with Matt, you're gonna get in trouble. You're going like people are going to jail over this is what he even says in this. So like,
bro, it's them not learning their lesson at all, bro. They don't give a fuck, and neither should you. That's the only.
I give enough of a fuck to make a point on my videos about this so that there's a record that I can control, that I have, right? I don't have the records of all the metadata of what's going on, which could prove all this out, which again, the CIA or whoever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, I start sounding crazy when I'm like bringing up intelligence agencies, though very clearly Beyonce is fucking with me, so it doesn't sound that crazy. But, when I'm saying like, hey, there should be metadata on all of this, which can prove out my point and prove that I'm right. There should be records, cell phone records, metadata, all sorts of stuff, right? Yes. So when I'm saying like my whole point is like I want records that I can control so I can prove out my own story. Also, it helps me stay relatively sane because if this is all just in my head, it's very fucking difficult to deal with. So
That's gonna be dissatisfied as fuck. You keep overcoming the obstacles and shit like that, or that's literally the boys coming for them. Whoever the fuck is working with them, or that's them working hard, not working hard, but moving forward with it and still working with these people, doing the fake account shit, bro. That's fucking gravy. You know what I'm saying, bro? Who cares, bro? That's bad on you. It's like waiting to get in trouble. Shouldn't be partnering up with these people, bro. They're already in trouble.
I would also say, hey, this is Odd Prophet off the Tarot and Tempest album. And I'm trying to make the point like, okay, well, if we're doing magic stuff and you don't really care about God, well then I'm coming off like John Constantine. But in any instance, I'm the dude on the throne of Yahweh. I mean, Constantine's the emperor, right? So like that's why he's named that, is because he's the emperor. He's the emperor that changed the Roman Empire into Christian thought. Also, interestingly enough, like the seven churches of Asia is in Turkey modern day, where in the seven churches of Asia from the Book of Revelation, they don't exist anymore physically, but they were located in Turkey. Constantine founded Constantinople, which is modern day Istanbul. For some reason, what was a bastion of Christianity at one time, which was at a certain point secular, is now run by Islamic extremists who, like, even when again, they can't stand on facts. They can only stand on violent abuse, rape, like murder. That's all Islam is. Submit or die. That's rape. Submit or die is what a rapist says. That's not what God says. That's what a knockoff of Yahweh would say, trying to take Yahweh's power. Again, think about the white stone versus a black stone. But suddenly, unexpectedly, you shall be visited by Yahweh Sabaoth with thunder, earthquake, mighty din, hurricane, tempest, flame of devouring fire. And I would suggest this, because this shit is happening in Turkey. Why do you think the massive earthquake hit Turkey? Like a year ago? I've even shown that it seemed to be directly associated with something that's happened with me, and you can see it in my story and pictures that when I was doing stuff that happened. That would suggest like, yo, the Muslim extremists in Turkey are anywhere are fucked, but I mean in Turkey specifically, right? And then hey, look, sun and moon, right? What? Why does that? What does that remind me of? What is? What could this be? Oh, hey, is that my logo? Right? I mean, except maybe it's reversed. I don't know. Is this me looking that way, or is this me looking in a mirror? You know what I mean? But the whole sun and moon thing is not something I'm created. It's like esoteric imagery that I'm like making a point. It's like it's not that hidden. Your magic is not that powerful. You're like none of this shit actually bothers me. I like music and I'd like to make good mixes and stuff. Even by the way, even this dude, I appreciate what he said here and stuff like that. And like when he's saying like what you're doing, like whatever you're doing that's like innocent, that like you just want to do it, like your art and stuff. Essentially, that's what he's saying. It's like just do it, and like they're trying to stop that. And like obviously they would be trying to stop that because when I make this mix and then Beyonce and Jay-Z all of a sudden end up there, it's like the industry plants are trying to stop me because they can't stop the underground, and I'm like leading the underground, right? As far as music, not like actually physically underground. They call music that's not like mainstream is called the underground, right? But it's not really underground. I'm just making sure that people understand that. It's not like I'm coming up from the ground like, I'm gonna claw my way to the surface. Anyway, um, so yeah, yo, and I would suggest you want to catch up to my story and how this has fucked over my life. Just go start watching my videos here. Like, hey, this is where I was hit by a car and I'm laughing it off. But I'm telling you that me getting hit, like whatever has struck me on my leg, which is like hurting me internally through some kind of magic that people have done, or not magic, but I'm gonna say science will prove out at some point that if you're able to strike someone through their partner, you can incur great pain on them. That is what has happened to me, I believe. But I upload, there's stuff like this, and it stopped. This was the day before they took me to jail, and I was thrown in jail for 4 months on bullshit charges. At this point, it should be very obvious that people were watching me and that they were bullshit charges, and that the police listened to the people who are lying, and maybe they knew about it here. That's my guess. My guess is really that they knew about it. But in any instance, this absolutely is going to come like is like she thinks she's the queen bee and there's a bunch of bees and they can come and sting. It looks like I'm in the way that Yahweh says in Deuteronomy, like, or in Exodus, like, I'm gonna send hornets ahead of you to get the promised land, the land of milk and honey. By the way, let me go to my profile. Milkins and Honey. This is my grandma. Her name is Coral, but the whole family called her Honey. The land of Milkins and Honey. So okay, I just let's get back into this. In a Oh, actually, let's listen to this dude a little more because what he's saying is just so on point. I could hardly stop listening last night just because what he's saying is so on point about this situation.
We got dark magic that niggas been freed from or whatever the fuck, and they were definitely informed of that. That's what the devil is fucking. They waiting on the devil to come scoop. I mean, to come do what they gotta do to these weird ass niggas. They're fucked. The fuck you still doing magic for, bitch? You know what I mean? They can't put no tricks out their hat here. They're already in trouble, bro. It's like they don't want to go to jail, but they were definitely informed that they can go to jail for doing it, and they still do it.
Beyonce, Jay Z, like P Diddy's in, like he's already in it. You know what I mean? Like he's already gonna go through this situation. J Lo is already gonna go through the situation where they're being brought to court, and probably me showing this is like not only like it's only gonna double, like it's only the weight of the reality that they were trying to create being so evil and helping these evil ass people to hurt me and my family for no fucking reason other than I'm the guy conquering at the seven churches of Asia and they're jealous or something.
That's them having anxiety about what's going to happen to them in the near future. They just want something that's happening in the near future to them, bro. That's them fucking doing stupid ass shit online. Still being reckless with the magic, even though the cycle been complete. They were informed of this. They're doing stupid, reckless, dumb ass shit online, such as blocking your shit, most likely been defaming your shit, da 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 da. Probably gonna said a bunch of shit from not being able to control their emotions, all this other shit, my nigga, bro. And you think you about to come back from any of this, bro? Especially with magic, bro. You cool as fuck. Something's wrong with your brain, dog, or their brain, dog. You know what I mean? However that goes, cuz. How does such a figure feel about themselves currently? Because no one fucking cares, bro. And they're reaching out to your family or some shit.
Notice the earthquakes, volcanic stuff, storm stuff happens around me, not anybody else, not my family. Though I do think they're tied to me, so they're gonna but it's me, Matthew Ray Wilkins, the guy who's conquering at the seven churches of Asia. When there's earthquakes and volcanoes and stuff like literally leading to fatal issues all around the world, or causing disturbances, extreme amounts of like Hurricane Harvey. That was a year where I was going, oh, that was about 2,500, a little under 2,520 days ago. What do you think was going on with me during that period? That was like right as I was getting out of being homeless after being slandered and defamed, as he's talking about. When you're doing that, that's the specific word, traduce someone. To traduce is literally the definition of the devil, diablos, in Greek, in the New Testament, and what it speaks of in the book of Revelation. Billions and hundreds of billions, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, because these people are acting evil. Countless lives lost. Well, not countless, you could count them, just a lot. A lot of lives have been lost because these people won't stop harassing and abusing me.
Or they're not being wise, bro. There's no spells that are working or that is going to work. We got some immature ass communication, most likely, or they're just exhausted from whatever, abusing the fuck out that magic. They don't want to take responsibility for what they're doing, and they're saying they're depressed. Your father figure could be depressed as well, bro. That's them in denial, like fuck that this evidence all on them like a bitch, and they're gonna regret what they're doing. They're sitting there in denial, refusing the truth when it's evident that the magic is done here, bro, and they're gonna regret doing that too, bro.
Thank you. All right. So, and like, am I doing magic? No, I'm making mixes. Are my mixes magic? I would say, if anything, it's divine because I like believe in Yahweh and I'm asking Yahweh to help me, and this is how Yahweh is helping me. That's just what it is. All right. So, okay. I do want to move kind of back on to what was going on here. So, take this off. I appreciated that. I've appreciated the past couple nights just listening to this dude, like, because with him, at least with his energy, he's more just direct. A lot of the women are kind of tiptoeing around it, but he's just saying it. Like, he didn't say, Matt, or Matthew Ray Wilkins or whatever. But I mean, he's good. It could not be like I clicked the exact right moment. I didn't cue that up or anything. I just clicked. I picked. And you want to talk about casting lots or divination or something? Yahweh will always give me the right hand. Yahweh will always give me what I need to prove this out. Even if for a while I've had to take a bunch of hits in order to pull this out into the light. So, also, I think this is proved. Who plays Constantine? Keanu Reeves. Yes, America's favorite actor, or at least the most lovable. Right? Did Keanu do some evil to me? I hope not. I hope not. Always been, pretty much my favorite actor since growing up. I mean, Speed and Bill and Ted and The Matrix. And by the way, we're gonna get into it, but The Matrix, I'm just Neo. I'm not even like, it's not even like a question, but we'll get into it as far as like, oh, the Oracle's just my grandma, Morpheus is my dad. Like, I mean, just like it's not even a fucking question to me, and it shouldn't be to you either. The mega city, literally, you can see Heritage Tower. Like if I pull this up, right, and you look at this, Houston is the mega city, right? Mega city. You go and look at the mega city, right? It's a combination of a number of cities, except the one city that you can most see out of every bit of it is when you click this. At least for sure, I can say this. Oh, hold on, let me make sure I get a big enough picture that I can zoom in enough. Guess we might have to go with this one. Yeah, I can open it and make it a little bigger. Okay, you know what skyline I clearly see imposed into the megacity? The Houston skyline. Well, what is that? Here's the Chevron building. Here's Heritage Plaza. Here's the JP Chase Morgan Tower. Some of the other ones are like behind stuff, and this was also 1999, so some of the buildings that exist now are no longer there. But like when I pull this up, Heritage Tower, this one, it's the one that looks like I always used to think it was like a Mexican temple. Here it is, right? Here it is. I mean, it's like clear as day. Here's the Chevron building. Here's the Chevron building, or this one, because this one I don't think it had been built yet. Oh, it's my water bottle is making noise. But like, yeah, there's some other that you can see in there, but I used to have a clearer picture, and I don't now so I'm just using this one. But very clearly, The Matrix, yo. And so when I'm showing you stuff with John Wick, like you should recognize, like, oh, Matt maybe is Neo, and the whole point is that this has been going on. That's 1999. It's been going on since at least 1999, right? If that's the case, because yeah, that's the case. It's been going on for longer than that. But okay. So, hey, they're in. Do I keep hearing something from this? No, it's got to be elsewhere. I wanted this to be really short, and we're already 53 minutes in. So, oops. So also the 4 there. I mean, you can see other numbers, but they're sitting in the 4th row. And so I just associate that with the Jezebel thing. Every time she's made a point with the number 4, after I made a point in my story and pictures about the number 4 over and over and over again. And I'll also say this, for some reason, the Houston Dynamo here, have changed a lot of their stuff. Like, my guess is they got bought by someone who's being used and like they're a part of, like, because they're actually associated with what is going on as far as like, some of their front office participated in slander against me, which hurt me to my family. But this whole hustling 4 more thing, the 4 being like, I made a point on my channel, like it said, hold on to your crown at the second church. The second church is, the 2 is about the crown of life. And so I was doing a thing in Counter-Strike 2. Everything was a 2 this, 2 that. The Semi Haze 2.0 mix, all that. While Beyonce is doing the 4. Okay, well, hustling 4 more. So either A, and there's a lightning bolt. I mean, who does lightning stuff? Here in Houston, who does lightning stuff? Who's showing dunamis in the way that, who's showing that they can use dunamis or the force? Yoda. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's just frustrating. I'm saying this about hustling for more. I'm not saying this about this Ford who I don't know him. But, you know, welcome to Houston. I like do I hate the Dynamo? It's just at this point it's just a brand being used in a way against me, right? Is it? The owner now, the new owner Ted Segal, I mean, is he like owned by the CIA or something? Is that what I've had whispered in my ear? I mean, not actually whispered in my ear. Is that my intuition? You know what I mean? I'm trying to give you in the way that the Bible would say it. Oh, if I whisper in your ear, I don't actually hear a thing. It's like I look and I'm like, why this random dude from New York wanted to buy the Houston Dynamo is like, there's got to be something up. I don't hate him. I don't know him. I do like the changes that they've made to this, but I don't like the fact that what has happened to me through the Dynamo, where they slandered me and it hurt my family, it literally hurt my relationship with my parents. That needs to be made up to me. Where they were putting on fake trials, that needs to be made up. Where also when I was doing this, they made a point to like do something with Rock Nation, right? And it looked like they were going to be working with Rock Nation or something. And this was when I was reaching out to Rock Nation and Jay-Z and Beyonce to make, to kind of tell what's going on. Hey, here, Jay Electronica. More of this Nation of Islam stuff. People have died because this dude has empowered. Like lots of people have died. The shit that's going on in the Middle East. If he had just actually worked with me at the time and not been, I think he's more like Bruno from like Sacha Baron Cohen, where it's like he's just a gay dude. It's gay electronica, and he's doing. And again, they don't represent LGBTQ. I don't believe. I think they just represent money hungry shitheads that are out to be fine with hurting people in order to get money. Money, 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 money. That's all that always, as my dad says, it's all about the Benjamins. Anyway, yeah. So, and you can see, I mean, this was not the first time I reached out to them. This was not the first time I was reaching out to any of them. So okay, let's just actually get back to looking at this. So the whole reason I brought up the stuff with like John Wick and Constantine and Neo, like think about this. Why are Neo and Morpheus in every fucking why are Keanu and Lawrence Fishburne working together a lot? I think Lawrence Fishburne is supposed to be an avatar for my dad, and Keanu is supposed to be an avatar for me. And you can get that from just you can see the situations that I'm in, like whether it be this one or the situation with Quiet, which ends up being like Ares from John Wick 2, and then these are Cassian and I don't know, is the rich lady gangster, is that Beyonce, or is the rich lady gangster Fernanda Motta, or is the rich lady gangster Andre Ambrosio, or I mean Alessandro Ambrosio, or is the rich lady gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like someone here is not telling the truth about who they are and that they're doing some evil shit behind the scenes. Again, I'm hoping it's not the Ambrosios because I actually like them a lot. And I like their vibe. I don't like Beyonce's vibe. Beyonce's vibe changed I don't know how many years ago, and it became something shitty. And like she doesn't stand for empowerment of anything. She just stands for being paid off and owned by Arab Muslim slave traders, Arab like something, owned by the CIA or wealthy people or owned. She doesn't represent freedom. Neither does Jay-Z. They represent they get a $250 million mansion. Their entire reality, in order to continue that, they have to make money, and the way they make money is acting like shitheads towards me and my family. It's basically like selling their race out, their religion out, their everything. They're sellouts completely. This is why also the underground, this is why you would want to cut me off. Because like the music that comes out of the underground significantly better than what's coming out at least modern day pop culture music. It ain't even fucking close. So, okay. And I would suggest that despite feeling like I'm being harassed by a lot of these artists, that at least the underground artists there, I can see a changing of mind with a number of them, where it looks like they're realizing like, oh, Matt's the only person speaking truth into this, and like people are literally dying over this, and like this is not a good situation to be on the wrong side of truth. And if it doesn't seem like I'm willing to speak truth, whether to power or whatever, I'm willing to speak truth because that's important. Truth is important. That is the important thing. Who is the God of truth? It's what Revelation is about. The God in truth and of truth. But okay, so I've made this point here. Beyonce is like pointing to his thigh, right? So fourth church thing, but also then you see Beyonce is pointing to his leg, and one of the things is my leg has just been burning. Like it doesn't just hurt recently. The past like week since I played soccer specifically the other day, and I don't think it's just from playing soccer. I think it like I think as I'm pushing past what they're doing, it's like I'm having to like re-alive. Like I've been rotted, and it's like bringing it back to life, but the nerves or something, it's just like I'm starting to feel it more and more, and it's burning and it hurts so much. Again, it hurts significantly more than getting hit by a car. You can go on either my YoTV or Matt Wilkins' channel, and you can watch me get hit by a car. Not slowly, probably something which would have killed a normal person, but I land like fucking Spider-Man, and like kind of I'm a bit woozy, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. Pulling glass out of my forehead, bleeding all over the place. I just go about my day as normal. I skate home and like, or I skate back to Third Ward, back to my what was my house for that short bit of time, and which has been torn down now, which is exactly what Beyonce wanted. They don't want my family to be the real Third Ward Trill. They don't want my roots to be. They don't want me to be rooted and be able to speak that they're phony sellouts who are hurting all of humanity by continuing this silent bullshit of abuse game. They don't want that. Maybe I'm too light skinned for them. Maybe I'm so white that it's like they don't like me, and then it feels like on the other side, maybe dealing with Alessandro Ambrosio. I mean, like, is it or like Andre Ambrosio's dad or something? Like, do you not like black people or something? Like, what's it with the monkey thing that in Andre's most recent story? So that would be in the past 24 hours or 36 hours. What's with that? Because it looks like someone's trying to call me a monkey. Am I a monkey? Maybe what is it? Intelligent, handsome, stone-faced monkey. That's like the Monkey King, aka Goku, aka Sun Wukong, aka just a knockoff of Yahweh from the East. I mean, I'm not even kidding. That's all it is, another intellectual property theft of Yahweh. Which is why when I started making a stink about all this, Akira Toriyama died like that. Because Yahweh is pissed off. The spirit of Yahweh. Do I know that anybody's dead, actually? Do I know that anything that I see is reality? No. I just go on faith that these things are actually happening. And I do think people are trying to interject things which aren't real, but it's bad for your health. I can tell you that much. Yahweh is not pleased. So here's the Subway fight. Get it? Like Yahweh, but Subway, and Jay-Z's the sub, right? You get it? Because probably what should have been mine if she's the queen, if she's claiming to be Queen Bee, well, if I'm the one on the throne and they're watching me, they're just knockoffs trying to steal what's mine. And like, impregnating women, my whole point has been these men are trying to impregnate women that are connected to me in order to hurt me. It's really rapey and terrible, and it feels evil. It sucks. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. This would be why I would get to, share in the 144,000 virgins with the one like a son of man, aka Jesus, aka Yahweh, aka the guy on the throne who I get to be if I'm conquering at the seven churches of Asia. That's the meal I get to share with Jesus. That's what that's describing. If you don't believe it, I don't care. It just is what it is at this point. You have to know what you're talking about, and nobody who's engaged me on it knows what they're talking about. Nobody in the least, and the same thing with the Islam stuff. Nobody can actually engage me and their point stand. It just doesn't. Am I Superman? Superman or Dr. Manhattan or something? All the superheroes basically, because they're just that, and all the mutant powers from X-Men and all this shit is just like gifts that Yahweh has. Like everything is just Yahweh can do it, and like if I'm the one on the throne, I can do it. And they're trying to prevent that. That's the whole point of this. And how are they trying to prevent it? By striking me internally through women that I'm connected to. Maybe my point to Alessandra Ambrosio, like, hey, I'd love you to be my queen of queens in the kingdom of heaven. Like, I really like you. I really like you and Anja. Like, you guys seem like I'm trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Like, I really like Alessandra. Okay, she has a daughter now. Okay, then I really like both of you. You know, we'll work this out in some way that makes this legal or something. You know, over time, wait until she's old enough. But like, hey, I really like both of you. Come on, be queen of queens, my queens. You know what I mean? But if you don't like that, you know, tough shit. I'm trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Engage that it's happening, and maybe like we could get past this. And either they're on my side or they aren't. But like I'm the point is being forced. We're already at the point where it is being forced. So okay. And like the thing with Noah, I mean, who's Noah's dad? Because he doesn't look like he doesn't look like Jamie Mazur or whatever. And is that an Amazon joke? Mazur, Mazon. A Mazur, a Mazon. Right? Okay. Yeah. So, hey, look, she's pointing to the thigh here, and then, hey, look, Cassian, the bodyguard, stabs John Wick in the thigh. You know, almost in like a mirrored spot. And then they do a little fight here, a little fight scene. Hold on. And by the way, I did have to remove some of the things because again, I get wild. But this part was not removed for obvious point because it like you know it seems like this is like some close quarters like mental knife. You know, like what does Nas say? Mental assassin, something something something. I at least know the part where he says mental assassin, and the point is something's trying to assassinate me in really sneaky fucking snaky ways, and I'm turning out to be John Wick. If this is a world of assassins, it looks like I'm John Wick. It looks like I'm Neo in the Matrix. It looks like I'm in Street Kings, Detective Ludlow. It looks like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just gonna keep going. Why is in Batman vs Superman and Justice League? Why is Lawrence Fishburne making points? Like why is he Perry White? Maybe again because he's Morpheus, and the idea is just like in the Matrix when Link says, "Oh, he's doing his Superman thing, and he's flying around." Oh, yeah, because he's Superman. Get it? Yeah. The agents, are maybe Batman. I don't know. Badmen. Maybe they're just a bunch of assassins. Anyway, so I'm hoping Keanu isn't one of them, but at this point I don't trust anybody. So, but I'm just going on faith. So, anyway, Keanu looks at him and then makes a joke, right? He's like, it's in your aorta. If you pull it out, you'll die. Consider this a professional courtesy. And then he limps off, like I limp every day due to this shitty attack on me and my family. It seems like my parents are limping around too. Maybe everybody attached to me is limping around. Congrats, you really fucked over a lot of people. But then you see he goes from kind of angry face to now he's laughing. Because it's a funny joke. And so now it makes more sense of this, right? Hey, it's the smiling tour, right? And I also did this where I'm making points. Hey, Stabby, Act 1 and Act 2 is also there. What is what's her face doing? Beyonce? Oh, Renaissance Man or Renaissance. Well, isn't that something Jay Electronic was doing? Act 1 and Act 2. And then I guess in Act 3, but then that also I just by the way, there's this other artist that I've seen recently. Give me a moment. I mean, I've seen some of it. I don't know. I didn't know they were from Dallas actually, but I guess it makes sense. So when we go here and we look at 4 bats, I mean, again, right? Do I gotta hold up the Superman? They're Batman. I'm Superman, right? I mean, you get it? Badman. You wanna find out? Badman. But hey, maybe they realize like at some point, like in Batman versus Superman, oh, Matt's doing this because they're hurting his parents. They're hurting Martha, right? And so they, I don't know, this is just me being symbolic. Their everybody's name, like their mom, well, maybe one of their moms is named Cheryl. I don't know. I don't know who Four Bats is. I don't even know if it's one dude or four dudes or whatever. I don't know. But my point here is that you know maybe they tried to kill Superman and then they realized, oh, hey, look, four bats. You made me a star with a four. Hey, that four thing that I'm talking about plus four Batman. Okay, just making the point that this is clearly what the fuck is going on. Just and I think I thought I had seen the first time I saw him. Oh, Act 4. Hey, so and 214. Well, this is 713. Also, I am wearing my UT Dallas like I wear all day every day, right? Do I gotta put on my UT Dallas like? Notice also UT Dallas looks like the dynamo color. I mean, it's almost also looks kind of Indian with the green and orange. But in any instance, uh, hey, UT Dallas. I don't hate Dallas. I never hated that. Well, there's a time where I felt really like depressed when I was in Dallas. I felt really sad because I think something was trying to cut me off in Dallas, and it got really close. Got really close to shutting my eyes completely, but it didn't work. So, um, anyway, like unless he's like one of these industry people that are like acting like Beyonce and shit, or them. I don't know. Is it four dudes or is it one dude or I don't know. Okay, I don't. I'm not gonna right now go and look, but it does seem the act stuff like Act 1, Act 2, Act whatever. And let's just even look at this. Let's look at this. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna close. Oops. I'm gonna stop mirroring my phone and I'm gonna start mirroring my laptop. And when I mirror my laptop, and then we go to my Beyonce mix, the one that I've been working on. First of all, the stuff where it's Southern Comfort and it was like country stuff. I'm gonna say this: when I was, I like the backdrop of the volcano. So, can you see that? Or what does this look like? You're not gonna be able to see everything if I do it like that, huh? Okay, I guess just the idea of it being like hovering over the volcano. Hopefully you can see it. If you can't, damn. But okay. So, like I said, I have video from 2019 where I talked about I think, Rock Nation or specifically Jay Electronica, but I might have said Beyonce should do something like where they're mixing country with like rap and hip hop with dubstep and like deep dubstep. I want to just mix stuff. I don't know. I want to try stuff, experiment. I'm not like some pop fucking whatever that can't just like I'm not just trying to make money with music. I'm trying to make art and enjoy myself and have fun. That's the thing is this is not fun. So the music stuff makes it fun. I like music. I seem to be very talented. I think as a DJ, I think I've shown a little bit of talent with production, but I haven't put enough time into it to actually produce anything that sounds incredible. But I think the small few hours that I put in, that I made a couple of tracks that sound better than like I've seen people for months and months and months making stuff and years, and it doesn't sound good at all. And mine sounds, at least it sounds somewhat like somewhat close. Maybe if a bit dated as far as the sound design, but it still sounds better than like certain people's stuff that I know they put years into it. So like I think there's a bit of talent there, but the DJ stuff for sure. I don't see anybody creating mixes like I do that makes sense of reality in a way that literally fucking all these like artists are having to like attack at me for the industry because they are plants. They are used by a system to not speak about truth that's going on. I mean, are people just fucking? I mean, are they literally like, I said the China and CIA stuff. Is it Iran? Is it some wealthy Arabs in wherever far off places too? Not saying Iran is Arab. That's Persia. But I'm saying like in the same reason like Persia is exerting over Iran. But I'm not. I mean, or like in the same way an Arab rape religion is asserting over Persia in a way that it shouldn't. But that's not what this is about. So okay. Hey, look, say my name. The Psyops bootleg. because people are running psyops against me, and it's failed. It's failed so miserably. They might have even implicated literally the government. You know what I'm saying? But am I going to say that like 100%? No, I can't. This is just like, it just seems like, there seem to be a number of artists that are willing to like, uh, you know, even if they're making stuff against me, it still ends up helping me. If they're making stuff to hurt me, like it ends up helping me. If they're making stuff to help me, it just is. Like the thing that I was showing with I don't even know how to pronounce it. Devape King Divinity or whatever. I mean, that was more helpful even if he's not on my side. It's more helpful than I like. Thank you. I mean, like this is exactly what I needed. It sounds like it's directed at me, and it just clearly is. But thank you in any instance. Um. Okay. So as we go here, hey, release your wiggle. Oh, the wiggler. Uh. Okay. And also up here, my whole thing was like I was for a long time trying to figure out like what do you call like what would be a word that would bother white people as much as the N word, right? I'm not I don't want to get messed like booted off YouTube because I say shit, so I'm gonna try to avoid saying stuff that might offend people. But so instead of it's like make it the W word. These wiggles are annoying the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? Or the Wiggler. It's just a joke. But the idea of like, oh, the Wiggler. And then Beyonce, the whole release your wiggle. It's like, okay, well, the magic thing, they're seeing some of this stuff. Again, also, by the way, I think magic works because it's a powerful computer, like sets of powerful computers and AIs and like quantum computers and shit being trained specifically on me. That's why it works really well. But it doesn't work infinitely well because I have more powerful like technology behind me and then Yahweh God. But just in the real, like in the physical space, I just got better computer, better tech, a better brain probably also. Um, hey, look, there for you. Thank you for forever for real. And I mean, just keep going. Hey, P Diddle. I mean, P Diddy, the P Diddler. I mean, that might as well be his name at this point. Tidal wave flow. Hey, the people, because the people are actually like I think I represent the people. Oh, 1991. That's when I was born, not 1981. Enemy. Looks like ether. Looks like I've ethered someone here. Abracadabra. To all you magicians that's fidgeting with the cobra. Turns out Jay Electronic was fidgeting with the cobra. For you, mad for you. The door, for. We give thee with two E's honor. 4 a.m. Scary with a 4 is the A. Man's not hot on the blocks. This one's just a funny song. ZX81. Do or die. Certified hood class. I mean, this should be hilarious to anybody that's watching. But okay. My name is. This was a dubstep version. And so then we get to this. This is why I'm bringing this up specifically. Sudden death. I'm making the point that the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, and Final Act stuff, it's getting played out at this point. I mean, it's just like, my whole point even to Jay Electronica was don't. But, like, the fact that other people are doing it, okay, I'm going to use this to prove why everybody shouldn't be trying to do magic and modern sorcery, and why we need to get to the point where it's a kingdom of heaven, people don't die, everybody has considerably and infinitely more than they need, everybody's happy, we rave into eternity. Remember, Yahweh is a deity that, people want to go to all these music festivals and stuff like that and raves. Yahweh is literally a deity whose worship for a long time in the desert was, so this is why Burning Man is even a knockoff of what Yahweh is doing, except probably less drugs. But, they didn't have a lot of the stuff in that day. But, the drug is actually Yahweh himself. He can just put in your head, literally give you the dopamine and serotonin and whatever. So, like make you feel like you're on ecstasy. You don't even have to be, but Yahweh can just, hey, you feel good, you feel better than you've ever felt before, congrats. But the whole festival thing is Yahweh ordained all sorts of festivals multiple times a year that people would do in remembrance of Yahweh, and they would go and they were huge festivals. So anyway, and I already went over that in the previous video. Act one, act two, dream sequence, laughing track because I think this shit's hilarious. I mean, it's not that hilarious, but I'm still laughing at it because some of it's funny enough. Yahweh at least gives me it funny enough. Hey, Ivy Lab, it's like Blue Ivy Lab. Okay, so that's one secret lab. Like someone tried to throw up a lab because they're doing stuff with kids that they shouldn't be like. They shouldn't be having the kids, and they shouldn't be trying to abuse the kids to hurt me. So it's already hurting me that they're having kids in that way, and then to abuse those kids on top of that, yeah, that would be why the fourth church thing from the Book of Revelation, that makes exact sense out of that. Not bees. Hornets? Thought eliminated. VIP. Congrats, Beyonce. That's you. Oh, and Thought eliminated the original one. Let's go to the hold on before we go to the let's see, Dua Lipa. Let's go to the Dua Lipa mix. Thought eliminated. What album is that from? Astronaut Training. Where do I live? Houston, do we have a problem? No, it sounds like I'm right on track. I'm calling out these bullshitters that are hurting everybody. And that people don't admit because they've let these people become their idols, and their idols are just phonies who are empowering the exact thing, which is robbing and hurting people. So, again, ether. They're being ethered right now. Do I want to have to be the one to do this? I'm kind of enjoying it, to be honest, but. Uh, so, hey, look, it's like Frankenstein or like Frankenstein's monster. It's just me. This is what I look at. It's like I see myself in black people. I see myself in white people. I see myself in Asian people. This is why I think I'm the one who I am, because I just when I was younger I didn't see race actually. It like didn't make sense to me. I just saw like when I saw black people I'm like, oh, it's grandma. Like when I see black women I always feel like the amount of love that I got from my grandma made me just I love black women. They feel like grandma to me. They make me feel safe and loved, and Beyonce doesn't, but most real black women do. Beyonce kind of dropped the whole being a black. Now she's a rich woman, and there's a difference. Rich people of all races act completely different. That's what the whole race thing is about. Even at UT Dallas, that's what one of the classes that I took. I I forget the professor's name. I forget the exact. It was something about urban something demographics and something maybe whatever. It was at UT Dallas. I could probably go back. I think I still have the book. Yeah. Hold on. I think it was for whatever class this was. So hold on. Whatever class this was. I think it was this book that was like, the class that I was doing this in. But the idea basically the professor said, and I just immediately agreed because that was what I always thought was the whole race stuff. People didn't like you go back to biblical times. People did not engage race like we engage it today. In fact, race wasn't even a word. Race is a social construct. That's the idea. Um, and it's used specifically because there are no races. There's ethnicities and skin tones, but there's not really a race. There's one race. It's a human race. It's not like they used to teach people, oh, there's Caucasoid and Mongoloid and Negroid and blah 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 blah. Blah. And it's like you sound like a schizoid idiot when you say shit like that. There's only one race that's human. And if you don't like people because they got a different skin tone, whether you're a black person not liking a white person, or a white person not liking a black person, or any combination of someone not liking another thing, you don't like your own family, essentially. That's what I'm getting at. And so, for a long time, race has been used to divide the people because it's an effective tool. It is not that effective when you have the dude on the conquering at the throne of Yahweh being a mixed person trying to make the point that I can't exist when this kind of fucking is going on between different races. And when you got all these people like fucking the Nation of Islam bullshit that they're throwing up, which is like, and like all this stuff about like, it's like it swung too far. It used to be white supremacy was like, what you would see like evil kind of stuff, and you still see I mean, I'm not saying you don't see it, but that was like the big thing. And it's gotten to the point where like, you know, I'm gonna suggest that it's not really most black people. It's like wealthy ones that are being used in order to like, I don't know, assert over humanity for some even wealthier people. Okay, they're causing problems, and it's like this whole nobody's because of your skin color, you're not inherently more supreme than other people. You're not a greater person because you're whiter or blacker or more Asian or more this or that or the other. You're a human. We're all humans. I think by the end of the book, I get to be something more than that if I'm the one conquering at the seven churches. But what I was born into, it seems, is I'm a human, and just like Jesus, that's the whole idea of Jesus. Well, was Jesus just a human? If you listen to the Muslims, they really want to tell you a bunch of bullshit about Jesus. If you listen to the Bible, the idea is that Jesus is Yahweh, and Yahweh is God. That's actually even the step here is Jesus is Yahweh, Yahweh is God. So, am I saying Jesus is God? I'm saying Jesus is Yahweh, 100% for sure. Yahweh is God. Do I think that means Jesus is God? Yeah, I do. But, I can very much lay out Jesus is Yahweh. Yahweh Sidkenu from Jeremiah 23, 5 and 6. There's no answer to that in Judaism. There's nothing. He had to have come by a certain time. That's already passed. If that hadn't happened, you might as well throw out the entire Old Testament. Your Tanakh is worthless if certain prophecies haven't happened yet. That's just what it is. If you don't like it, tough shit. Don't listen to the rabbits telling you otherwise. But okay. Hey, look, and I thought this was interesting. Jeru the Damager, but also it looks like a Dynamo and Dash colors, and I guess maybe UT Dallas colors and stuff like that. And then X-Ray, and then the motherfucking you look like a motherfucking In fact, let's listen to this one real fast. Little drum and bass. Next thing you know, Beyonce's gonna be hopping on drum and bass tracks, and you're just like, this is why. This song is a joke, by the way. It is literally a joke. It's based off a meme. It may be a joke, it's still better than a lot of shit that I'm hearing from artists. Anyway, just a little bit. I'm just like, gotta have some humor in this. They're trying to. That's the other thing. When I'm pointing out, like, they're trying to make all these faces and look like happy and shit like that. They aren't happy. They aren't like. They are not as like tough as the. They get photographers to make them look a certain way. Anyway, by the way, four bats. Are you guys Batman? Is this Batman and Superman are going to start teaming up and we're fighting? I guess Lex Luthor and whatever, Doomsday and shit. Maybe I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Here's the subway fight. I kind of want to do it, but like play this, but I don't want to get copyright struck. And I don't think I'm gonna get copyright struck on that last song, but could be. I think I at least have enough, like maybe enough respect in the underground scene to where like most underground artists. There are some that clearly seem against me, but even a number of underground artists that I think started out against me have like maybe realized like, oh, he's not the problem. No, I'm not the problem. I'm also not some kind of plant. I'm also like a real person that's having my life like torn away from me by a bunch of rich people. So, okay. Hey, look, it's quiet. Stephanie Houston, this whole Stephanie Houston thing that I've been going through. It's not just voiced by Stephanie Houston. It's literally her image. She is literally motion capped into the game. That was the whole point of her. That was the whole point of why they used her. And they used her because she's like a relatively innocent looking white girl that's like, Dutch girl that's like, it got my attention and was like used as a trap to like beat me over the head. That's what I get from it. If I'm wrong, okay, but it does look like that's what it is. Who do you think this is when you're looking at this Hall of Mirrors fight, and it's fucking Ruby Rose here, and I'll say this: Ruby Rose has. Can you see that? Just is written on her hand. Or, if you're going with the U is two O's or a W, like the Hebrew letter Vav or Wa. Wow, the sixth letter in Hebrew. Like this is a Yod, this is a Wow, this is a Shin, this is a Tower, a Tet. So, and hey, it says V, TV. Hey, look, it's TV. We're on TV. And it's Shadow Daggers. Oh, you got some black nails too. A number of people have been rocking the black nails recently. Fernanda Motta was one recently, but looks like that's not working out well. I would also suggest that when you go to here and the thing that I've recently posted, and like if we go back a little bit, if you're to watch this John Wick 2 Gianna's bath, Gianna here has hey, what color are her nails? Oh, they're black. You got black nails. I think the whole point that someone's trying to do is like, oh, they own certain black people and they're trying to beat me over the head with these people that are like, ostensibly, we should be on the same side. In a world where you can be bought off with money and sell your soul to the devil, you know what I mean? Well, the devil's just a person, right? It's just this shitty human that's trying to traduce and, like a sorcerer or something, because that's the idea of the snake is a sorcerer. So that's who that is. That's what that is. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Was that for you? Like, was that me trying to tell about who that might be? I don't know. Could be. But okay. So yeah, Stephanie Houston thing. So my whole point with this is, well, you got the quiet lady who's like literally fights John Wick silently. Like she communicates in the same way that I'm talking. She's literally an assassin that communicates through like maybe if I play it like this, the engine isn't gonna, because it tags I think via sound. So if I play it like this, it's like, hey, look, it's that same thing that I'm talking about where for whatever reason the police just ignored the fact that like when they came and got me, they were saying like it was like what people were saying to me in silence. Even when you have a lady who's an assassin who uses silence to communicate, and she's still deadly and evil, but she doesn't communicate with words like I'm doing because she tiptoes around the situation. She's evil. She's the problem, not me, right? You get it? Does she have stars behind her ear? Who do I know that has stars behind their ear? Ron, you know anybody? Okay. So my whole point with this is like clearly she can still be a bad guy and communicate points if Oh, did I go into Superman mode, Ron? Yeah. She can still be a bad guy and communicate evil points, right? Using, nonverbal communication. As for whatever reason, me defending myself against all these people using nonverbal communication to harass and hurt me, on top of just doing evil shit behind the scenes to me, the police still made me out to be the bad guy. Congrats, guys! You really did a good one there. I mean, like, actually, do I have anything? Like, I didn't have anything against the police before all this. Now it's like, oh well, like I had this. I don't like when I see people being hurt by authority, and they are the authority, right? Legally, and as Christians, we're called in Romans 13 to follow civil authority. That they bear the sword for a reason. But the fact that I have to defend myself and take this woman's, I guess it's not a sword, it's a shadow dagger, and deal with her, it's a total failure of that civil authority, which is what the second church talks about. It's that I get slandered, the one conquering at the seven churches gets slandered and thrown in jail from slander from the synagogue of Satan, the enemy of all humans, even the police. Is she saying something to him? Is she, like, hypothetically, if someone's trying to communicate with me non-verbally, right? Is that something that can be used in court? well, maybe not in modern day courts, but there are higher courts than there are there are courts. I'm not even going to say the streets. There are courts that exist that engage what I'm talking about, and to them, when I'm talking about when he talks about like stuff like that, and justice, there are courts that deal with real justice, and like what these people have done has brought the wrath. We're already at the point where I think the sentence is about to be the hammer is about to swing down and the gavel's about to be hit. And I get to be a judge after this, a supreme judge. Okay. Hey, look, he can respond also non-verbally. He just chooses to speak. Probably why he's John Wick. All right. Anyway, I just want to end with this. To Little Missile Quiet here. Congrats, you really fucked. I mean, you really fucked up on this one. But okay, all right. Moving on. Like what? By the way, what are the Dutch? Why does this seem to have to do something with Dutch people? My computer just like ramped up, fucking crazy when I said that. What's up with the Dutch thing? LTF Melanie says, someone who comments on my videos says she lives in the city that, or at least that she's from. Hmm. Yeah, you got anything to say, Stephanie Justin? Oh, hey, Foxhound. Why does this look like the Houston? Why does this look like the Houston Dynamo logo with a knife in its mouth? Hmm. Hey, look, she's wearing tiger stripe. That's something that they wore in Vietnam. Not something that they wear these days. Anyway, I'm making points to show why this all exists like this. Also, Light here sees a copycat. This is when I use the word face camo like this, and so I think the idea is that a copycat who appears as a love and light version of you wants to be the enigma that made you. Well, who wants to be that? All sorts of people. Nobody is at this point. I don't see anybody being actual love and light. Though, if you're speaking to this situation, I do appreciate it to some degree. I don't know if I can trust anybody's thing, but when this dude's saying just straight up, he's not tiptoeing around shit. All right, if he's not being cool, I can't tell that for sure. I can't. I don't know the whole situation. I can say though that him just saying what he said is already powerful enough to point out this clearly is happening. It's not as if it's not happening. So, and the fact that the news hasn't covered it yet, like, yo, what are you guys doing? People are actively getting hurt over this. You need to actually cover it. The streets are watching, clearly, right? So the fact that you guys aren't speaking, it's a problem. There's a reason why people don't watch the news anymore. Okay. And it's not me. But it does seem to be a situation that's going on around me. By the way, I posted this in 2017. Bella Hadid. Is this correct? And that I seem to have been the only person that cared, and that nobody engaged me, and people were beating me over the head with specifically her sexuality, and not a number of people, but like hers, yeah. Anyway, I guess ask Bella. Will she tell you the truth? I don't know. But oh, hey, look, 2019 Stallion simulation. Interesting. That Megan the terminated. Maybe this is exactly what he's talking about, where they're trying to block and copyright strike everything on my thing because I'm calling people out for their kind of evil bullshit that they're doing to me. Does that sound about right? Yeah, it does sound about right. Midnight. Is it midnight? No, it seems like it's the dawn. But okay, anyway, I just want to wrap this up. We're at the point where this is like way too long. How long is this at this point? We're an hour and 39 minutes in. I'm not going to let this go past 2 hours. So, at least I don't plan on it. So let me mirror my phone again. Let me unmirror my computer, mirror my phone, wrap this up, and upload it and move on. Move on, Ja. Okay. By the way, a lot of this stuff, I just want to point out, it is basically 2,520 days ago. I mean, we're at the point where this is 2,520 days ago. So when I've been talking about that there's like I'm like going so slow on this stuff as to like freeze it in time to make it indisputable and undeniable. And that when I called it and I clearly pointed out that that's what I'm doing 2,520 days ago, you'd have had to have been aware that that's what I'm doing. But even if you are, these people don't have the fucking patience to do that. I have the patience to do that. That's why John. That's why John Wick. They don't have that patience. By the way, this is a picture from my grandma's house, but we'll get into that. That hung over her bed the entire time I knew her. I mean, my entire life, this picture was hanging over her bed. But we'll get into that in a second. So the patience that I have, that seemingly my family has, uh, is unmatched. At least mine. And I'm also pretty hot headed, so I'm like I get both sides of things, right? Hey, Stabby, Act One, Act Two. Hey, mastered both sides of the force, and plus I made my saber. Pulling you off the road to perdition. Leave it for someone else. Someone else, is that if you go back to the Chloe Moda thing, that whole thing, the someone else thing, is it someone else? I mean, I don't know. We'll that's not something to get into right now. But my whole point with the whole Fernanda Moda thing is clearly they're colluding in order to fuck with me. Like that's what that looks like beyond a shadow of a doubt to me. Or in the least, Beyonce's acting like a shithead. So, but I think they're both acting like shit. All sorts of people are acting like shitheads to me. Why? I think like social is like it's like a fad or like peer pressure or something. But it has to be like a fad because there's no way that this shit goes on where a bunch of people aren't like, oh, we hit the wrong person. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z are the problem, not Matt. That's basically even what you can get from listening to the dude that I've been showing. Uh, so I mean, yeah, that's how people feel. I think actually about the situation. Also, you can just read this stuff. It's me trying to inform Jay Electronica because he believes bullshit from teachers that don't teach him anything worthwhile or valuable, and which is killing people because these people have some sort of authority in a way that they should not have, like social proofing and social authority, and they're owned by Arabs. If it's tough to hear, don't do it. Don't let them own you like slaves. By the way, this is one day, the sons of God came to attend on Yahweh, and among them was Satan. So Yahweh said to Satan, "Where have you been? Round the earth." The whole point of this is not that Yahweh is Satan. That Satan, the word is adversary. One of the sons of God is adversarial, right? You get that? And it ain't, Jesus. One of the sons of when it says the sons of God, it's a Hebrew word. The sons of the Elim, but or Elohim, but again, it's just this title, Allah. You know what I'm saying? Like something's being used in that kind of capacity. I would even like, is is Noah the son of like a terrorist or something? Like I'm like, if he's not my son, whose son is he? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't look like he's that Jamie guy's. So, and was he born only because like did Beyonce? Is that why they sacrificed to idols? Because they like she used her social whatever to like convince Alessandra Ambrosio to rape me using Alessandra Ambrosio is like my other half and she's used her social power to rape that would be why it says what it says about whatever. I mean I'm just or was that Chloe or is that the whole point with that like clearly Beyonce's trying to make some kind of point that she's like doing something with the children of these Brazilian women and like I like Brazil. I especially like Alessandra Ambrosio. Something about that. She's a beautiful elf lady, and her daughter is a beautiful cave woman. Beautiful little cave woman, but beautiful little Neanderthal face. I love her though. I mean, she's. She's a little Lego Harley Quinn. But no, I don't hate Anja. I mean, I don't hate Alessandra. I don't even want to hate Beyonce. I just like what she's doing is so evil because it's hurting people to such an extreme degree, and she doesn't want to admit it and she doesn't want to stop it. And they're empowering evil shit that's just hurting people and leading to death on innocent people, and they need to stop. I mean, they need to stop, but it's like they haven't. They're going to be stopped, and so when they get stopped, they were warned. That's all I'm saying. Uh, they were warned. That's not actually how the Bible says it. That's just a joke. I'm just the Joker. That's just a joke. I'm sorry, the Joker, because the Joker's trademarked, right? Okay. So then you can see the stuff from Second Timothy there. If you really want to pause it, just go read Second Timothy. Oh, here I'll say this. This was to Jay Electronica because this is him. This is him and how he acts like how he kisses the ass of Louis Farrakhan, who's just another one of these phony fucking idiot people who like empowers his bullshit. They're owned by Arab slave traders. Tough shit. I mean, if you don't want to admit it, the Arab Muslim slave trade was so much worse than even the transatlantic deep south slave trade here in America. The standard norm was to castrate black men. The hadiths say such evil things about black men. It's a punishable offense to say that Muhammad is a black man, punishable by death. It's a punishable, so for Jay Electronica, the young prophet Muhammad, punishable by death according to Islam in the hadith. As far as like Cassius Clay changing his name from Cassius Clay, a famous abolitionist whose family owned slaves, but he denounced it and then literally got fucking Abraham Lincoln to write the Emancipation Proclamation. Changed his name from that famous abolitionist because he was a racist white man, right? To the two most prolific slave traders of all time, Muhammad and Ali. Muhammad, whose religion that he made up, it's a knockoff of Christianity and Judaism. If he's even a real person, it's probably just a title and or probably just a made up person. But based on the records, there's no archaeological evidence for him, unlike the Bible, which there's tons of archaeological evidence for. They dig it up every day in Israel, not in Palestine, because there is no Palestine, because those were Arabs pretending to be the Jews' ancient enemies. Okay? I mean, this is just like, this shit just needs to end. People are dying over this. All this shit at Columbia, it's so embarrassing. There's just a bunch of rich kids like who lost their fucking mind in the same way that I'm explaining about with like Beyonce and shit. So, and like with Jay Electronica, gay Electronica here, they collect themselves a series of teachers according to their own tastes, and then instead of choosing the truth, they will turn to myths. The Quran's a myth, again, that supports the slave trade of black men. It's still legal. There's no abrogation of the slavery of black or anybody, but specifically black people. I believe there's still slave markets in these fucking places in the Middle East and in Africa that are slave markets that exist because of Islam. You phony hypocrite assholes at Rock Nation. Not all of you. Probably J. Cole might be all right. I don't know though. Seems like most of these. If I was to guess, he's either like the worst, or he's like he's just like, God damn, I'm in a bad situation here. Why don't I put myself around these people? God damn it. It could be something like that, but I don't know. You'd actually have to say it and speak it out and whatever. But yeah, that's just what that is. It's just what it is. If you don't like what I'm saying, mine is backed by fact. Mine is backed by literally the Quran and the Hadith itself. Muhammad called his black slave, what is it, Anjusha, Raisinhead. Like, it is written in the Hadith that he would call him mean names because he was an Ethiopian man. He was darker skinned, right? You get what I'm saying? He looks like a raisin. I mean, that's like, Muhammad was not kind to black people, so all this finding your roots in Islam is just bullshit. It just is. Go read the Hadith. Go read the Quran itself. Literally Surah 23, the whole idea of like the women that you're legal to have sex with your wife, and the women that you can hold with your right hand. That means the women that you can overpower, and they use that to say, oh well, we can have these sex slaves when we, like this. That's why it was all right for them to rape women on October 7th. Is that the Quran, which is a clear knockoff of the Bible. It's not reality. It is a different shitty knockoff of Yahweh. Allah is. Because Allah is just the generic title, God. That's why when they say, oh, we got the same God. No, you don't. You don't follow Yahweh. You follow the generic title, God. This is even the thing that happened when Elijah fights the prophets of Baal. It's because they started following one of the titles, Baal of Yahweh. And Yahweh's like, I don't want to hear that title anymore. I don't want to hear it off your lips because it's not me. In the sense that they deify it. They deify one of his titles, and then like it becomes its own tradition. That is exactly what happened with Islam. That's exactly why the beast from the earth thing that it talks about in Surah 2782 or wherever it is in the Quran, I think it's 2782. The beast from the earth that can do signs and stuff matches Revelation, where hey, there's this beast from the earth that's risen by some kind of uh, beast from the sea that seems to be related to like four kings or some group of kings that have lost their fucking minds and they are acting like literal terrorists at this point and have no divine backing actually. It's just a bunch of magic and bullshit and like, people who don't want to admit that they're wrong and, they don't have a leg to stand on. They tried to knock my leg out and I do have a leg to stand on. At least one, and it looks like I'm about to have two, and that will be my right leg. And when that happens, I think we're at the end of, like, we're at the point in Revelation that 1,260 days are starting once that happens. I wouldn't even be surprised if Beyonce and Jay-Z are the two witnesses, or, that go around for 1,260 days. Someone is those two witnesses. And I'm still trying to figure out who it is, but, it looks like maybe is that Jay-Z and Kanye West because they were doing Watch the Throne, and it's so very clearly aimed at Matthew Ray Wilkins, the one on the throne of Yahweh, that, like, if they want a place that isn't in the burning lake, and that if they want to exist further, because it looks like the streets do not have their back. It looks like the streets have my back somehow. Thanks, guys. Then they would actually have to, like, engage what I'm saying, repent in sackcloth and ashes. Oh, that's exactly what the fuck it says. Or is that Jay-Z and Jay Electronica? Gay-Z and Gay Electronica. I guess we'll find out. But okay, so I would also read this if you're interested. Might give you some stuff here. There's only one unhappiness, and that is not to be one of the saints. Not the football team saints, the saints, the set apart of the Most High, aka Yahweh, the Most High. But let's very quickly look at. I'm trying to get this. The way that I had to do this, because if I tap it and I actually click the picture, it reformats it. So I'm just. Okay. So here's a point that I'm trying to make with this. I'm just, you see the John Wick thing, and we're talking about. We're talking about John Wick, right? And Neo and the Matrix. One thing I want to do here real fast is I want to go to Beyonce's thing. So here's her Instagram. I just really quickly, because I'm going to set the thumbnail picture. And this is going to be the thumbnail picture. So it very clearly says Chloe, right? And so it says cis taken public transits. It's like, well, she's trying to prove that she's of the people, but she's clearly not. So, like, my whole point with this is like, they're trying to make points here, and the points aren't well received. Also, it looks like the stuff that she was doing where she has Chloe on her thing, and then she's doing like this whole thing. It looks like she's humping. It's like the whole point is to be like, I think again they're saying that they've taken Chloe's virginity as like, to attack at me because I made the point. It looks like some group of contractors is trying to strike out at like women. It's like plausibly deniable for any government or organization that's doing it. So it even says, Chloe, you hinting at SMTH, right? Hey, Chloe. Probably it's not this one. Probably it's the thing that, again, just up here, for whatever reason, Fernanda Motta shared a picture with Beyonce, right? So, like, let's see. And it even looks like the three women look Beyonce herself, and then the one where you can clearly see Chloe is on Fernanda, right? And like, I don't know who Chloe's dad is. It's probably not who they're purporting it to be, is my guess. But uh, the fur, anyway. And then, oh hey, you got the other girl on the right. And look, Beyonce has something in her mouth as if she's eating something, and it looks to me like a cherry blossom. And again, my whole point of like them taking the virginity of young girls in order to hurt me after connecting them to me is exactly like the thing from the Book of Revelation. And it seems like people have already been more clued in on it, and they've just lost their fucking mind because they're owned by some people that have basically said, you either do it or we're gonna hurt you, or I don't know, or you either do it. My actual guess is you either do it or you're not going to have money anymore. Why? Because they're owned by whoever. What am I? Do I got to keep repeating this over and over? Um, King Himothy. Hey, Katy Perry, VV into this one. It's like all of Hollywood. Remember, oh, you want to play with magic? No, I don't really want to play with magic. I'm tired of all this fucking magic stuff, honestly. I'm tired of all these celebrities that have lost their mind and are being used to hurt everybody for a little bit of money. They're okay with hurting you for money. That's what these celebrities have taught me in the past, however many days. So, right? This is why Chloe. Just FYI. Here, we can even go down to here and do. Maybe this one makes more sense out of this. So screenshot. This is where the screenshot is, where I'm gonna get the thumbnail because this one just makes it too goddamn obvious, doesn't it? Like, what is she doing humping the air? Is that not what you're trying to say, Beyonce? Because it looks goddamn like this is what you're trying to say, right? I'm gonna let me. Hold on. I'm trying to get the perfect screenshot because I think that's important for the thumbnail. There you go, right there. Maybe this one actually. Damn it. That's what I'm saying. I don't like the way this does this is it's just annoying. But I really do want a good screenshot here because it's very difficult to deny what I'm saying here. I mean, you literally cannot deny it at all. It just is what it is. But at the same time, they like something is specifically avoiding not engaging this. I'm assuming that the Six Church thing is literally like the news has to engage this at some point because the streets are looking at the news and saying like, yo, you guys aren't actually covering the news and this is hurting so many people. And like Matt's right on everything or a lot of it. And like he shouldn't even know that he shouldn't have even been able to figure this out. So the fact that I was able to bring this out into the light as much as it is now, that's a like I'm just gonna suggest that's a problem for people who've tried to act kind of evil and shitty towards me, but and towards a lot of people. I think this is representative of not just something I'm going through, but that a lot of people go through. Okay, here you go. This is it. Okay, screenshot. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of that, and then I don't have to worry about whatever. But let me go. I'm gonna do one thing real fast. Just keep looking at this for a second. I'll be right. I'm just gonna turn on the air conditioning. We're almost done here. By the way, this is one of our neighbors and someone who's like I went to Luther North, and it's the Joneses. Miss Penny Jones made me this. Navy veteran, yeah. Um, you know, she supports my dad being an Army veteran. Austin's an Army veteran. It would seem like I'm some sort of black op veteran at this point. Like maybe like you want to talk about special forces? Am I special? Uh, looks like I've been fighting something considerably longer than most people ever go to war. Like 30 fucking years of this. Can you imagine? You imagine like this is your reality. 30 fucking years of just in the least the past 7 years has been stupid. It has just been like holy fuck, it's just every day it's just a new thing. We're at the point where it's not every day. Every day is a new thing, except it looks like I have my right hand. This is one of the reasons why I think the thing with Alessandra Ambrosio is like she could be on my side. It was only when I started focusing just completely and more on her that like this was like, hey, I'm starting to get my right hand back, my right arm. Uh, whatever's going on. Again, also my mom, when she's saying stuff started hurting like 10 years ago or 11, around 10 years ago. Who was born around 10 years ago? So it's, whatever it is hurting Cheryl as well. And it seems like it's hurting Ray because I don't think that was happening before then. So something's going on with that situation that's literally hurting my parents, which is why when I'm saying like I like it's like my parents, I want them to see the kingdom of heaven more than I want any of this other shit. Like Alessandro Ambrosio, I love you, baby, but they're more important to me. I want them to see the king. I do not want them to die. I want them to see the kingdom of heaven, and I'm pretty sure we're close enough to where like that seems to be like a plausible thing. That singularity into the future where nobody dies anymore. Why? Because someone's just willing to speak truth and isn't worried about like the idea of like losing your life for Jesus is like I'm totally willing to do that, but I seem to be in some kind of bubble or box or something, but I'm still willing to speak out for it. I'll also say this, if I was like a in like some kind of tank and then there was a snake, like you can be a tank, right? But if there's a snake in the tank and it bites the driver, you're still fucked, right? If it's a venomous snake, okay. Well, something like that I think has happened. And I was bit by something and then they didn't realize, well, I think I already know how to deal with this because I think I was already taught this because knowledge is power. Science is power. So if I'm the ultimate scientist, that's the thing is also these scientists like, when I rely on these atheists when I rely on science, Yahweh knows. You get it? Like Yahweh is the ultimate scientist. That's just, you know what I'm saying? Like fuck Dr. Manhattan. Like Yahweh knows. Also Yahweh, the idea of having the mark of Yahweh on your forehead as opposed to the mark of beast, the name of the God. Yahweh is it says Yod Hey. It looks like a Yod almost looks like an like the Doctor Manhattan's Atom thing. I mean, like a dot on your forehead. Well, that would be like the Yod and then a Hey, Yah, Hallelujah. But anyway, just a thought. She's just a thought. Okay. Anyway, so here's an oracle machine. This is why the oracle in the Matrix, it's not just the oracle at Delphi type, esoteric stuff and religious stuff. In complexity theory and computability theory, an oracle machine is an abstract machine used to study decision problems. It can be visualized as a Turing machine with a black box called an oracle, which is able to solve certain problems in a single operation. The problems can be of any complexity class. Even undecidable problems such as the halting problem can be used. In other words, this is what I get from this. I don't know what other people would derive from it. An oracle is something that can solve a problem. It's like the shortest point from A to B, it'll find it, right? If you have a problem that something's blocking you from getting to A and B, it'll find a way around it or through it or whatever the thing is in a single operation. In other words, in the fastest way possible. So, an oracle, and you can read all this other stuff. You could pause it. You could just go look at the Wikipedia. I mean, I just pulled up the Wikipedia to prove a point. Am I in some kind of black box? Maybe. Doesn't that sound like a dubstep venue in Colorado? All right. Anyway, hey, the Oracle from the Matrix, and so you have the architect, and then the Oracle, and the Oracle is the one who basically gives Neo the fastest route to like get done what he needs to get done. Oh yeah, it makes sense of it now. But she's also an Oracle like the Oracle at Delphi or whatever. But the idea of the Oracle, and so the idea of the Oracle for me is, well, Matt doesn't stand for black women or black people or whatever. Shut the fuck up. I love my grandma more than I'll ever love Beyonce. And what they did to like hurt my family that caused problems and like ultimately I think Coral, my grandma, could have had a much more dignified end of her life. She got to live to be 100 years old. But when the COVID situation happened, she was you know, she got it because she was in a nursing home. And for various reasons, I wanted to buy her home. I wanted to like make sure that she could stay there for the rest of her life and all sorts of other stuff. But these people putting fucking obstacles in my way because they're paid off by wealthy Arabs or wealthy white people or wealthy anybody, and they're willing to like, Beyonce's cute. She's a cute whore who's an abusive asshole. That's just what it is. If she doesn't want to admit it, I'll tell you. That's what it is. That's why she's also pointing at the door, because the door's about to open and she's fucked beyond her capacity to understand how fucked she is. Ugh. What an evil fucking woman. Remember this rhyme. Red touches yellow, kill a fellow. Red touches black, friend a jack. I've always heard red touch yellow, kill a fellow. Red touch black, venom lack. And then, it's a rhyme to differentiate different snakes, because there's a snake here in America called the coral snake. And it's one of the deadly serpents in North America, according to wildlife removal. Well, here's a scarlet king snake. This one's a non-venomous snake. Red touches black. It doesn't have venom. Venom lack. Friend to Jack. Coral snake. You can see on the thing. Red touch yellow. You're gonna die. Kill a fellow. Well, it's venomous. Are you gonna die? It says they're seldom lethal, but I don't know if I believe what the Wikipedia says there. Because every other instance I've heard, they're relatively dangerous. In the least, a venomous snake is something you don't want to be bit by. I wouldn't want to be bit by a non-venomous snake. I don't want to be bit by a snake, but, a venomous snake you definitely don't want to be bit by. So, yeah. Let's see. What else is here? Let me just go through this to make sure. I kind of cleared it out a bit because I'm just like, wild shit, but at the same time, I want to get over the points, so it ain't as if it's gone. It's just try to avoid. At some point, I want to make this whole thing, every little thing on this, I either want to be completely disappear from fucking public eye, or I want everything to be seen. My whole point seems to be that everything seems to be seen, but that people are pretending like they aren't seeing it, which is wrong in and of itself. Like the news, the fact that the news, ABC 13, who the camera just turned on, they're owned by Disney. And it seems like Disney is participating in this shit. And only because, like, it looks like these companies might not be, like Warner Brothers might have already, like, been something that has been absorbed into the thing to help me tell my story, whereas Disney does not. And it seems like has been actively hostile against me. Is that what the case is? Because it seems like the Magic Kingdom is more like the Sorcery Kingdom. Prove me wrong. My whole point is, hey Disney, if that's not the case, you aren't against the Kingdom of Heaven. Well, then you should, the Magic Kingdom isn't against the Kingdom of Heaven. It's not like Yahweh is Voldemort, and it's not like not saying the name is not gonna get away from him. But like, some weird shit seems to be going on with Disney that is like, yo, you gotta make it right. I mean, actually, this shit. Congrats on Beyonce for like bringing Disney to their knees, but like this shit is gonna blow up, and Disney has done something. I don't know exactly what, but I can. I mean, I know I can see what they do to like Star Wars, and only thing valuable that they've done with Star Wars is Yoda has lightning power, where he could literally fuck with a storm and bring lightning down. And it seems like, yo, was that a was that to test something, and then that I clearly have lightning power? It's like, oh shit, we're probably actually attacking the real Yoda on the throne of Yahweh. And if this dude's the leader of the kingdom of heaven, we don't want to be burning laked forever because stupid reasons. So yeah, okay, Magic Kingdom is the kingdom of heaven, and it's yours. You're Mickey or Michael, the archangel, or someone's Michael, but the archangel who is like El or Al, Mikael, who is like Mikael, God, who is like God. The answer to that from Zechariah 12 is the House of David, the one like the head of the House of David, or the one, and that's the throne of David is what Jesus sits on, and also the throne of Yahweh is what Jesus sits on. But they're the throne of the Most High, both in the physical world. The throne of the Most High is the throne of David, and it lasts for perpetuity into eternity, according to Yahweh. Okay. Hey, Mount Fuji, is that big volcano that sits in the middle of Japan that probably at some point it looks like is going to be activated to make a point that, hey, don't let Beyonce harass me from fucking Japan. Don't let Maggie Moon harass me from fucking Japan. Don't let anybody harass me from fucking Japan. All the earthquake stuff that clearly happens around me, like Yoon and verbal ambush, like, yo, what are y'all doing that I'm being harassed and fucked with from Japan, from literally the other side of the fucking planet? Why is that being allowed in Japan? I would even say the Yakuza. Y'all live in Japan. If Yahweh decides to fucking fuck that shit up, that's bad on y'all. I don't have anything against Japan. But these people who are like using Japan as like some kind of base to fucking harass me out of, and I think they're doing it because like reasonably I think the Japanese are an honorable people that should be on my side because Yahweh is honor. Yahweh is the most honorable thing to exist. Matthew Ray Wilkins might not be, though his glory and his honor is, if he gives it to me, it is. It doesn't matter if I'm a clown. That's part of the point. Like, if I'm the Joker or the Yoker, it doesn't matter. If Yahweh has decided that I'm going to sit on his throne because I'm the one who's most willing to speak truth for God, for Yahweh, also for the Yakuza. What better name for a deity than Yahweh? I mean, come on. Okay, anyway. It's my pitch. Okay, I got some stuff about Alessandra Ambrosio Wilkins there because we're gonna take each other's names because if I'm gonna have a honestly, I just like the name Alessandra Ambrosio. Sounds very foreign and exotic, and I just love it. And Anja Ambrosio, and it's like a little what's that called? Like the chakra. I mean the Ajna chakra. It's like a mirrored thing. AJNA, right? ANJA, right? So it's like looking. That's how I get my third eye. Is this mirror thing that's going on? I'm a little troll. So I also thought that this picture of her, right, this one that I do like, looks a lot like the. She looks a lot like the little girl that is in this picture that is behind me. That sat in my above my grandma's bed the entirety of the time that I live. I don't know how long I was there. You got to ask my parents, but my guess, 50 fucking years or something, like a long time. 70 years, 100, I don't know, a long time. It literally even says down at the bottom copyright 1874, so it's an old picture, but it's an old print, but the entirety of my lifespan, that while my grandma was alive and in that house, that was above her bed. In fact, you can probably go to the YoTV videos, and if the bed is still in the thing in some of my videos, and I have the recordings. I mean, I have pictures and recordings and shit. It was over her bed even then. But kind of reminds me of Anja actually. Even the nose. In fact, specifically the nose. But I also find it funny that she's doing this. She's doing like like H time, hold it down. Well, her thumbs up, but it also, this is good enough. You don't have to do this for it to be H time. And what is this? Oh my, the devil! No, these are horns, and horns. The devil doesn't have horns. The devil isn't powerful. Horns stand for power in the Bible. Moses comes down from the mountain with horns or rays of light because he has the power of the literal like Ten Commandments, like the weight of the Ten Commandments, which when like spoken, like people were like put into such fear and trembling. It's like right, okay, horns. That's why bulls. That's why the letter aleph, the alpha, aleph is turns into Greek letter alpha, which turns into a in English or in Latin, the letter A. And then so the aleph is a bull or an ox. And why? Because it's a strong thing that is like the prime mover, and it's also as symbolic. There's other symbolic things, but you just take it as that the head of the thing with horns. Okay, not a satanic thing. Again, also even if I'm saying this, I'm clearly against Satan. Satan against Satan. Satan can't stand. Congrats. Okay. I mean, that's what Jesus says, so don't get on me. But my whole point with this is I think Alessandra and Andra are kind of like acting like Amazons, and they would only, let's see, their society was closed to men, and they only raised their daughters and returned their sons to their fathers, whom they would only socialize briefly in order to reproduce. But I think what has happened to me has turned me into like both Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman to the point where even the Amazons are like, Matt gets to be one of us and can do what he wants. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Uh, but in any instance, if I'm Superman, it's not gonna fucking matter. Clearly, Gal Gadot has enough trouble fighting Superman in the thing. But also, did Gal Gadot do something evil? I don't know. It looks like she's signifying that there's two men behind her. But you know, maybe they're both me, and the idea is like, hey, they're just multiple of my personalities. You got a Batman side and a Superman side. Is that why the what is it? Four bats? That's just the right eye, or is that the left eye? I have one of the eyes, and my other eye's kind of like clamped down a little bit, but it looks like I'm getting it back. And then also, so the idea of you look and you got Mortal Kombat there, and the dragon and whatever, but a little snake, right? A little snake, something to step on. Um, or looking at me, the dragon sees if I'm doing a mirror thing, the dragon sees the dragon and is like, "Oh fuck, I wasn't prepared for this." Didn't China have like a thing called Leviathan? It's like a hacking group or something. Is that what's been fucking with me or trying to, or is that just something that someone else is going to use to try to make me feel whatever? In any instance, Leviathan is Yahweh's pet, so I mean, it's also just the snake is just a fucking thing for to step on. But in the Old Testament, and like the Book of Amos, Yahweh's clearly made a pet out of it. So is that why Alessandra and Andre Ambrosio are my dogs? Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're just my dogs because we're friends and lovers and I mean anyway. Um but the idea with this is if you look, one side is the Batman side, one side's the Superman side, and then the spear in the middle is Gal Gadot. And right, the whole thing of like in Constantine, the Spear of Destiny, it's the spear that Jesus gets stabbed with in his side. There's symbolism in there, but you just need to know the spear thing. And then it looks like Gal Gadot is the spear that two men are using to, like, I don't know, at me maybe. Is that Henry Cavill? Are these the witnesses? Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill? Are they just gay dudes? That Gazy and Gay Electronica? Could be. I mean, like actually, I'm asking questions here. I just don't ever get any answers, so I just have to laugh it off. But like, is that what this is? I guess we'll find out because it seems like everything gets revealed, but that's a revelation. But like again, you got one side that's the Superman side, one side that's the Batman side. If you look at this, like I guess Batman is the Scorpion side, Superman is the Sub Zero side, or not actually. Maybe it's like this, and so Superman with the eyes of fire is the well, that's the thing that Jesus has, not so Superman with the laser heat vision is because it's a knockoff of Yahweh. Because it's always just a fucking knockoff of Yahweh. Everything's just an IP theft. Okay. Is it because I pee on things? Sure. Let's make a Monkey King joke out of it. Let me pee on the middle pillar. Okay. So, and then the really cold person that doesn't have a heart, Batman, right, is Sub Zero. He's a sub, right? And there's a dash in between sub dash zero J sub zero Z. Okay, got it. And hey, look, it's Alessandra Ambrosio, and hey, fireworks. I think she's in love. And then watch, watch. Also, what's up with? It looks like there's two different Alessandra Ambrosios. Like one of them has the eyebrows that are like kind of, you know, in the middle, like a little disheveled, and then one of them doesn't. But I could just be wrong, and I could just be messing around. But it does look like someone's doing body double shit around me to like fuck with my ability to perceive. Okay, I don't think it's working in the way that you wanted it to, because I'm just a clown. But am I just a clown? Probably not. But anyway, here's hey, look, it says Luna. Oh, the black nail thing that I'm talking about. Hey, look. But then if you go up here, Luna mini skirt and millet. Okay. Is that a shower? Golden shower? I don't know. You want one? Can I have one? Anyway. Well, get your butt over here. What are you doing? What are you doing, wifey? Anyway. All right, then here's some stuff that I posted up. No, no, no. We have always used the name Iran. It was only the West that Persia was used based on the name for our Pars region. Iran isn't some Islamic invention or bad word. It's a millennia old name of our civilization. It is time for, and that was because someone said it is time for Iran to end and Persia to restart. And then this woman who's Jewish, or I mean, is this the synagogue of Satan? Because they don't want to say the name Yahweh. They want to put, just like in the Old Testament with the title Baal, they want to say Hashem or any other title. And this is the name Yahweh could end the conflict. The name Yahweh literally could end the conflict in the Middle East. You bring it up, hey, the Dome of the Rock is a temple to a deity that isn't Yahweh. Al-Aqsa, which isn't even this complex, but you guys are insisting that this is what the Quran is talking about when it says Al-Aqsa. Somehow this is the farthest east mosque. Doesn't make sense. But in any instance, no. Or is the farthest west mosque? In any instance, it doesn't make sense that it's Al-Aqsa. And they only started saying that after the whole, Palestine versus Israel, like Arab-Israeli conflict started. So it's just bullshit. They're just trying to make up reasons as to why the Jews can't have that. But again, the Jews could just use the name Yahweh. When I'm saying the Jews, I don't have any issue with the Jews. I'm clearly a fan of Gal Gadot and the Jews. All right, is she even a real Jew? I don't know. She could be Mexican for all I know. But I mean, actually, I don't know that any of these people are real and not actors. I'm just making points. I clearly believe in Yahweh. So if they claim to follow, Hashem. Okay, the name is Yahweh. That's what the Shem, name. Hashem, the name. What is the name? Yahweh. Well, using that name could end this conflict, but they don't want to do it. Why? Because they're taught by a bunch of rabbis that you can't use the name. That sounds like a satanic thing that something is using to keep these people from not having their land. I mean, I don't understand. I've been saying this for years now, but okay. Like here, so to make the point, is Persia actually something used by, well, it's in Hebrew, bird of prey, a claw, a kind of eagle, ossifrage, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce that, but I do know how to say an eagle, a claw. Okay, so it's the same word, when this was written, these vowels didn't exist, so these were all just the same word, and you had to know the context. Uh, so Paris, I mean Paras, Parak. It also seems to be something to do with fruit and fruitfulness. We're not going to get into that part, but the word for fruit does seem, and paradise seems to be associated with this. But pure, splendid. See Persia. Okay, this is all the places in the Old Testament that the word Persia is used. Actually, this one below it is when it's used in Aramaic. My whole point is when she's saying it, people like she wants to make some kind of point that that's not what it is. Okay, well the Bible argues differently. So this is why I think that they're not. I don't actually think I don't think she knows what she's saying in the least. But like, in the time of the ancient times, the symbol there in the middle of the Star of David didn't exist, but the name Yahweh did. They don't want to say the name Yahweh. They just want to rely on the Star of David. Okay, well, the one on the throne of David is telling you, you're wrong. So anyway, I am Yahweh unrivaled. So this is just to make a point. This is to Cyrus or Koresh, the king of Persia, who Yahweh calls his anointed. Thus says Yahweh to his anointed, to his Mashiach, to his Messiah. There's only a few people that are called Mashiach or Messiah or anointed in the Old Testament. One is literally the prince, the king of Persia, not just the king, the emperor, but the title is King of Kings. Okay, does that make sense as to why the person conquering at the seven churches would also be called King of Kings, Lord of Lords? And if you go to Psalm 136, God of Gods, yeah. Okay. Well, God is God. God is a spirit. And if I have that spirit more than anybody, and I'm the anointed king, well, then there you go. I don't even like God will be acting in such a capacity. I might as well be. But am I? Actually, after the seven church thing, we're in the kingdom of heaven. There is God in the flesh, so maybe that is the person conquering at the seven churches. I would suggest that could be that. I am Yahweh, unrivaled. There is no other God besides me. Though you do not know me, I arm you, that men may know from the rising to the setting of the sun that apart from me, all is nothing. In other words, I am Yahweh, unrivaled. There is no other Elohim. But, to these Muslims who have taken over Persia, there is no other Allah besides me, though Allah is a feminine version of the word El or Elohim. Whoops, am I just linguistically tearing you guys to a new one? Yes. Uh, because Hebrew is considerably older than Arabic. The prince of the kingdom of Persia has been resisting me 21 days, but Mickey Mouse, one of the leading princes, came to my assistance. I have left him confronting the kings of Persia. Is that me? Not the kings of Persia, I mean, I guess, but is that, me confronting or is someone confronting the kings of Persia? Who is like El or Al? Anyway, Persia. Here's Gog and Magog, which is also in Revelation, which is, the Armageddon thing. But anyway, okay, let's keep going. I really like this picture of Anja for some reason, but I'm also trying to make points here. Like up here, I say, I am clearly head over heels in love with Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio Wilkins. I love my little doggy daughter wife double soulmate, Alessandra and Anja. I mean, if they want to be, I'm down, but, or I'm up. I don't want to be down, I want to be up. So I'm up, but, maybe, like, I'm awake, I'm up, but also, it's a difficult situation. I'm kind of a Lego yoker. You know what I'm saying? A little Lego joker. Okay. So you got head over heels because I thought that was appropriate because I said the head over heels thing, but I said it because and if you listen to the lyrics, it's just what's going on with Alessandra. It's as if I wrote this myself and was putting this message to her. Similarly, the prototype thing by Outkast here. So look, I'm not just two guys. I'm two white guys and two black guys. Cool. Watch. Wait. Is that me? Is that the four? Is that the four lips? Two black guys and two white guys. Oh. I'm just, I try to make this as funny as to myself as I can. And then this is what I was talking about with Yoon Ambush and the prototypes thing. She only did this after I put these tracks into specific things in my thing, in my computer, as if she's watching and to make a point. And then recently I've even made videos. This symbol, the Swiss flag symbol, has popped up. First of all, someone left comments to me. I deleted and blocked it because I'm just getting fucking tired of shit like this, but I'm just trying to make a point. So I pulled this up here, and we'll see it. It's gonna pop up here in a second. But this is why I'm doing this. Yo, I just wanted to make a quick video here real fast. So like this one didn't go on my YouTube because not all my videos do, but someone left a comment on the Jay-Z Beyonce, "Bro, are you good?" And it's literally the Swiss flag. And so kind of my point here is that, it seems like when the dude is saying that they're harassing me and like you can clearly see that I'm bringing up that Yoon is wearing this and is like participating in this, it's like, yeah, they're evil fucking shitheads and it's hurting a lot of people. And they're saying that they're neutral, but there is no neutral. You're either on the side of evil or the side of good, and they're on the side of evil based on every indication. If they aren't, they need to end this shit immediately because the streets are not on Beyonce and Jay-Z's side. They aren't on their side. The streets, probably even in Japan, I would just shout out to the Yakuza. Can y'all go teach these people a fucking lesson? I mean, actually, like you don't have to whatever, but tell them like, hey, don't do this shit. Earthquakes and shit happen when people are messing with Matt. We live in a place that could be earthquaked into the ground. Do not fuck with Matthew Ray Wilkins. In fact, you owe him considerably. You do everything he fucking says whenever he wants, however he wants. Does that sound good? That'd be shout out to the Yakuza if they can do that for me. But bro, are you good? W. I mean, it just is. And then at the same time, I wanted to make this point. Hold on. I even bring it up in that video, but I didn't bring it up here, so I just have to get to this on here. Like right after fucking this all happened, Anna Markovic, who I don't follow a lot of people on my Instagram that I don't know, right? Anna Markovic, do I know her? I mean, do I know? Because it seems like she's making points to me like all these other people, but the idea that she's very specifically trying to get this into her thing. I mean, does she have a kid or something? Is that what she's trying to say? I mean, that's what it looks like she's trying to say with this. Or is she about to have a kid? I mean, looks like they're trying to say that. And again, it's these women who are being used to harass and fuck with me. And, basically rapey fucking evil men are making points that they're going to impregnate any women that I fucking like in order to, like, humiliate and abuse me. And the women are happy to play part because they're sellouts. Because they don't stand for women. They stand for rapey fucking evil men. So, I mean, is that what this is? Anna, there is no neutral. You're either on my side, so it's either I'm going to impregnate you, or whoever the fuck the random soccer player you're dating is going to impregnate you. Is that what? So like, make a decision, because publicly this is happening. It's not as if people don't see what's going on here. You get it? Okay. Because I like her. I think she's a hot babe, and she can ball. So she can play soccer well. So does she want to come play for the Dash? That would definitely increase the Dash's visibility because she's like one of the most well-known female soccer players just because she's hot. But also she's hot and she can ball, so I mean that's like a thing. But my whole point with this is stop doing this shit where like men are specific, like women are being attached to me, like get my attention, impregnated or like sexually something is sexually implied, like with Maggie Moon and Jay-Z or whatever the fuck, in order to make me feel bad, to hurt me, to harass me. It's physically hurting me because someone has done this to the woman that I'm actually most connected with. And I think the thing that has caused this to actually affect everybody is that being Yahweh, if you go to the book of Hosea, He's like talking to just women, to the wife of Yahweh, and the wife of like Yahweh and his unfaithful wife ends up being like, I think that's all of humanity, especially Israel, Gal Gadot. But the idea of like, so seems like she's had 4 daughters with another man. Oh, you guys come along. I mean, I think Jerome Varsano is gay. Like that I can get. I think a lot of these men are gay, and it's just like I'm just like, why are you using gay men to do this too? I mean, if he's not, okay, but it looks like every indication I get is that. So, are we gonna have a son together, Gal? Cool. I mean, come on. I'm just trying to like. I'm making this point. I mean, what? That sounds like an ideal situation for me. All right, make up for it, and you're just gonna give me like I have full control, and like all these hot babes are my wife's, and I have like you know, is it called what is that anime World End Harem or something? Yeah, I just have the World End Harem. Like I have a huge harem, and I get to decide how everything is used in that harem, or in the least, like I get overriding votes, but I really don't care in every situation. But you know, it's my decision. And they're like Amazon women; they just make more women. Like, I get the IP. Jesus is the IP on having boys. So, because men have been used to like hurt me and harass me and hurt my mom. That's the thing that I think even pisses off like the Batman situation. Where am I Batman or am I Superman? In any instance, whatever's hurting my mom and has been for years. This is why when I say like to Diplo, I think this is why Yahweh killed his mom or allowed her to die. Because Yahweh, I don't think Yahweh goes out and whatever, but with Diplo doing this kind of shit where he's clearly participating and like he's been used very specifically to make kind of fucking rapey evil points to me, that does not make me happy. That does not make Yahweh happy. And he's as much of a sellout as him making music with Beyonce, and maybe even it's been hinted that he's sleeping with Beyonce or something like that. It's like, okay, well, what do you think? There's no consequences. I mean, the whole secular Sabbath shit and him like making points like that. It's like, well, why wouldn't Yahweh? You don't believe in him, so what? I'm just saying something that you don't believe in, though it clearly happened. But well, am I cold blooded for saying that? Well, it seems like something's been attacking my mom. You haven't given a fuck. In fact, you've only empowered it. So say something. Say something that would make you not the enemy of all mankind or Yahweh's enemy. How about this? Say something that would make you not my enemy. I don't hear anything. That's my good ear too. I definitely don't hear anything with that one because whatever hit me has affected my right side and my right ear and my right eye and my right arm and my right leg and my mom's right leg and my dad's left leg because he's mirrored against my mom because that's his partner. You get it? That's his wife. So, I mean, I don't say this shit for no reason. This shit is happening. It's been going on for a long time. And if you're participating, Yahweh is not happy and nobody's off limits to God. When I say Yahweh, the spirit of Yahweh. Am I doing it? If I'm doing it, you really shouldn't fuck with me. But if Yahweh's doing it, it's justice. Not that, your mom could be a Christian. If she is, well, she'll be with me in the kingdom of heaven. And everybody who's in the kingdom of heaven, she'll be with us in the kingdom of heaven. But it doesn't look like you will. So you do some evil shit like that and you stay silent and you know, at one time, like the first time I heard Diplo was in 2003. The TV show Fastlane, and his track Diplo Rhythm was like the intro music or in the commercial, and I was like, damn, this is a good song. And I found it and downloaded it with Vibes Cartel and whatever. I mean, it's just like, if you've done some evil shit to hurt me, man, that's on you. And, you know, Yahweh is not happy. All this, whatever abuse empire that has been built around me is falling. And, like, he's a very famous DJ that maintains somewhat of an underground connection. So I'm making the point. I mean, is he one of these CIA owned people too? Or, I mean, I say CIA. Just is he owned by, like, it just feels like all these fucking fake artists are owned by people. So, I mean, the music at one point was real. At this point, it's just more of this pop bullshit garbage, which is leading to death on all humanity because nobody wants to engage what's actually fucking happening. So, okay, time to move back on. But I mean, this is just fucking. I'm just tired of it. And like, if something I said is you feel wronged by it, how do you think I feel? I didn't deserve any of this. Y'all made decisions to get yourself in this. I tried to fix what has already happened to me, and people took worse actions against me. Verified. It's not like it's not like people on YouTube are saying this for no reason. Clearly, everybody's watching. I mean, verified. Also, to the news, clearly everybody's watching. Clearly, you aren't saying shit. You can hint all you want. That is not enough. When the door opens and you haven't said anything, it's going to be a problem for you. I'm telling you, it is not going to be good on the people who are supposed to be informing the public on what is happening. Okay. I'm going to end this with this. So, the whole thing with the prototypes is because I put this in certain mixes in the Alessandra Ambrosio mix and in the Andre Ambrosio mix playlist. And, it wasn't too much later after that she puts this. And the thing in the song is, I hope that she's the one. If not, you are the prototype. I think I'm in love again. It's one of my favorite songs. Spank you very much. I don't know. I'm not a singer for a reason. I'm a DJ, but am I even a DJ? I just can DJ. I don't go out and do it these days. I did it for a short period out in public, but I think I do mixes better than any DJ that I've ever seen. So, all right. If I don't make something better, but once you start making something better, you're clearly following exactly what the fuck I'm doing. So, congrats. Okay. Making mixes? No, making mixes like I make the mixes that actually have cultural relevance and value and aren't just like vapid, like dance music to actually be art instead of just like shake your ass and bump up and down in the club and like whatever. It's like making dance music, making electronic music like historically significant. In the same way UNESCO just made Berlin a cultural heritage hotspot for techno music. They're the techno capital. Well, maybe H Town is the DJ like what electronic music overall. I just like take any fucking genre, even rock music, rap music. I make mixes, but mostly electronic music. That's the main thing. All right, so they're the prototypes, and then something for some reason I kept thinking I gotta, I just kept thinking of like it was this is like what yesterday. So the past couple days I kept thinking this is how this works. Something just got in my head like Alessandra, Sandra, Alessandra, Sandra Bullock, and then I was like, what in there? Didn't I see that somewhere connected to both Alessandra and Andra? And then yeah, Bullock and Snow casting. I mean, part of my point is like it feels like they're trying to say these women have been casted into my reality or casting couched into my reality, which is even more fucked up when it's a kid, right? I mean, that is fucked up beyond. That is what the Book of Revelation at the fourth church is talking about. That they're using kids as like rape traps, essentially. So, why? Because by the time people are 18, they are no longer virgins. If I'm looking for a virgin wife, and here in America, people have repeatedly made a specific point to fuck and like impregnate multiple, like all sorts of women that have been connected to me in only for the purpose, not because they like them or care about them or love them or are actually connected to them, but to prevent them from connecting with me and like to disempower me. Really, it's about disempowering Matthew Ray Wilkins. Prove me wrong, because at this point I can only prove myself right with the amount of evidence that I have that that's the case. So my whole point is either Anja and Alessandra have been used as a trap, or they're the people that clued me in that this was happening. I'm hoping it's the latter. If it's the former, that sucks. But this shit needs to end. The fact that Beyonce is now publicly taunting about Chloe Motta and stuff, it's like, yo, dude, I'm not gonna go through another 7 fucking years of waiting because I don't have to. I can just prove out that this happened with Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio if I have to. But if it hasn't and they're trying to teach me what's happened, okay, or what's happening, that's why they're my friends. And that's like, I don't feel like I have many of those these days. Even not to my own, not for reasons that are my fault. Even I don't know. People just the situation is maybe too much for most people. But I mean, still reasonably, it would end if any of my friends actually stood up for me in the way that I'm asking. But I'm guessing they were corrupted or did some evil shit, like all of them. So that really sucks. And maybe my family too. But okay, so Sandra Bullock. That's why Bullock and Snow. Sandra Bullock, my wife too. Oh my god, I love Sandra Bullock. When did I talk about Speed earlier with Keanu? Hey, I've been watching you for a while. Love Potion #9, great movie. Wait, that was her, right? I think so. Anyway, uh, and then I sent this to Anja because why? Like, why? If we aren't friends, how does my account have some special privilege to reach out? You know, is it some kind of sting that people are doing, and it turned out probably they're the ones that need to be stung, the sting of death, but not. I'm not saying about that. I'm saying like from the Bible, the idea of the sting is the sting of death, like something's trying to incur death on people, especially here in America, because you can all the stuff that I'm saying. If you want to go to like fix this issue in like Bulgaria or China or some other place around the world, like it's doable because they don't have some weird cultural. They have what here in America they'd say is a weird cultural tradition. It's like, no, I think that's just what the Bible says. I think that's what every religion says. I think that's what just anybody with a brain would be like. Well, if you're having these problems with the way that people do dating here in America, how do you solve that? If you can rent sexuality but you can't buy it, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, there's rules around it, but I mean, that fixes the whole red pill incel thing. What I just said. You're done. Once sexuality, there's an open marketplace. It's the same thing with drugs. When I'm like, well, if you create a better system around drugs, if it's not just they're illegal and we're gonna block you up, but if it's like, okay, we're gonna, you come up with better laws and you make it so that you're not criminalizing people who fucking are already in a shitty situation because they're using drugs, then you fix the issue, right? But like with this issue with sexuality that I'm talking about, how do I fix this? Please, do I gotta move to China? Do I gotta fucking move to Bulgaria or something like that? Find a virgin market somewhere? Like, why? Because again, I want a wife that men aren't asserting over to make points to me because it physically hurts, and I think that it's scientifically provable that that's the case. That you can hurt someone using women that are connected to that person, to that male, and using men that are connected to the woman for the woman's case. This is actually why I think death still exists, but that's a whole nother video. So and we're almost at 3 hours, but this is the end. Obviously it's even the end of my story and pictures. So, and well, for now, for today, and it'll be added to later. But if you watch this scene, Watchmen on Mars, and that's a joke because it's on Mars, like on on Mars. Huh. It's on Mars. Uh, which Mars? Well, Jay Electronica Mars? That one? Is him and Erica Badu's daughter, or what? Which Mars? The Mars that I know, the DJ, or like Mars as the deity? Because that's why Jay Electronica named his kid Mars. I mean, it's because they're trying to do a thing like, well, I'm Yoda or Yah, right? If I'm the one who gets to have the name Yahweh written on me as described in the seven churches of Asia and Revelation, because it's clearly a thing where you pull the sword out of the stone. Okay, So they did a thing like some kind of comedian rape joke of, you know, Mars the deity, and they named him that because, I mean, named her that because they're just trying to make some kind of rape joke towards me. That's from the best of my ability. That's what I can figure out because these dudes have nothing serious comes from these people, but nothing good comes from them either, and their jokes aren't very funny. So I mean, yo, all of a sudden my computer crashed. I guess it could just be a random thing. It could be the thing that I talked about in a game of Counter Strike that I just played. For whatever reason, Windows does, if you have a external hard drive connected, it slows down to the speed of this slowest external hard drive you have connected. I don't understand why it does that. That behavior does not make sense, but it does. So I mean, it does that. So um, okay, everything's still up, and like I'll just edit these videos together. I'll just put them together in Shotcut. I'm not going to do a part 1, part 2. So I don't really have much more to add. I was just showing this part where you got Watchmen on Mars. The dialogue in it seems to be specifically referencing what's going on with Alessandra and Anja and me. And, like, I'm like Dr. Manhattan. And, like, she's like Silk Spectre. It even looks, even Silk Spectre, the girl that Malin Ackerman plays, I mean, even looks like she even looks like Anja at this point to me. Or Anja looks like her. This is from 2009. It's not like something that, is this some of that magic stuff, or is this some of that powerful, like, I'm on the throne of Yahweh stuff? But anyway, and here's Anja Hard. Like at the fourth church, there's an outbreak of some kind of, or at the fourth seal, there's some kind of pestilence outbreak, like a plague. And Daniel, it's like Daniel, but with two N's, and like Da, like Yoda, or like Da, like dad. And then this is Corinth. There's incest kind of connotations with the concept of Corinth and the Corinthians. And then you have, like I said, this kind of looks like Anja to me, but and their conversation is very what was that kid's name that she's all of a sudden dating, and like they pulled out on my birthday, and like they're trying to make him feel like it's me, but it doesn't seem like it, because if it was in the least, Alessandra could have just been here and told me. But I don't. I'd like to think they're my friends, but seems like they're just more of these people playing evil, shitty games towards me. So, anyway, do I think this makes me Dr. Manhattan though, so that's kind of cool. I get blessings on blessings because of the more evil people do to, it's like Doomsday, except I'm Doomsday, right? The more evil people shit do to me, the better it is. Also, just remember, she's changed her thing to a dog after I made the point about dog stuff, which is why whenever you see the dog stuff that I'm doing, that's the point. Do I hate her? No. Even if she's done the evil stuff, it's like, it's not completely your fault that people have used you to be evil against me, but it is your decision to continue doing it. It's your mom's decision to continue doing it. It's your dad's decision to continue doing it. And I don't see it ending. And it doesn't seem like I don't trust anything that these people put out towards me. I can only trust anybody. I don't trust anything that anybody puts out towards me except what I feel like I can just verify in my head. And what I can't verify is anything about them other than I really like Alessandro Ambrosio, and that I do think Yahweh. Either they're the prototypes, or that's the joke. They are the one. I mean, so only love can save us now. Well, God is love. Yahweh is not, submit or die Islam deity who isn't Yahweh, but is another deity that, like I'm saying, I think it's from further east than anything, but that's using the giant mecha machine. And then, and then John uses the midnight chair, Constantine. It's like a different machine. It's like the Christ body machine, maybe. And so, again, seems like Neo here, John Wick here, is like my avatar that I can use. Because also, I think most people can see themselves in Keanu Reeves. And if you're black, maybe you can see yourself in me. And maybe in Keanu, he's just a cool enough guy. I mean, I think. Is he evil? I don't know. But he's a very likable actor, I think. I think? Uh, seems like a nice guy too, just like a not Hollywood like guy. So, but this Kesha song, it's the Odd Prophet remix. Using the Odd Prophet here because it's like I feel like I use the different artists that I listen to as a way to like make points. It's me being an Odd Prophet, or it's me being a Doctor P, or it's me being or it's me being a Skrillex, or whatever. Anyway, uh, but are these yolks? Maybe. Um, and then the Odd Prophet song Desire, and if you watch the video, the symbolism in it. But if you listen to this Kesha song, it's like born and raised in Hollywood, something about the church, and then she says hallelujah, and it's like, well, I've heard hallelujah. That's I don't hear that in most music, so praise Yah, praise Yahweh. Sure, it's also a dope remix, so cool. Uh, that's the end of this. I don't have anything else to add. Let me go back up to just make sure I've covered everything, but I could show more. There's no reason. I'm done. I don't want to anymore. I mean, this is part of this is I don't want to have to do this every time. But the whole fact that, I'll end this with this. This is actually where I will end this. So hold on. The fact that this whole thing happened with Fernanda Motta and Beyonce, I think, makes what I've been saying indisputable. It is verified. It is like you would have to be fucking lying through your teeth to not to look at me and say that I'm crazy in this situation. They're clearly fucking obsessed with me. And they're obsessed with me in a way that's hurting me. It's hurting my family. It's hurting my friends. I've been robbed numerous times. Do I have friends? I don't know. It's hurting my family though. I've been robbed. I've been lied on. I've been traduced. I've been seduced. I've been fucking I've just been wronged in so many ways. I can't even list it out on my hands. So, um, maybe Miss Israel herself will help me. Maybe. Maybe Andra's actually a little Harley Quinn. She's not the bad guy. I don't know. I'm hoping. Oh, Jesus. Uh, hold on. Shit gets annoying sometimes. All right. That's what happens. Um, but also she seems to have the McDougal eyes. Also, some of the thing here's one other additional thought. I don't think it's good that China owns TikTok. I don't think, but at the same time, I don't know if I trust America and the agencies here because they aren't providing me any help that is just direct and in any reasonable way, and people are hurting my family and hurting me, and why would I this might as well be China in my opinion. So if the U.S. government is doing it, why and they're saying it's just because the evil people in charge of the U.S. shit don't want to engage it. So I mean they don't want to engage what I'm saying, which is hey. First of all, just additionally, if the dude on the throne of Yahweh lives here in Texas, that's a boon for Houston. It's a boon for my neighborhood. That's a boon for my family. That's a boon for my friends. That's a boon for my neighborhood. That's a boon for the city of Houston. That's a boon for Texas. I'd say that's a boon for Dallas too, because the only other place I've ever lived in my life is Dallas, which is so similar to Houston. It's as much as we want to fight, it might as well be the same. Fucking one is California on the prairie, the other's Houston. So, uh, um, it's a boon for the United States. That's a boon for North America. So, just reasonably, why the fuck is this not being engaged in any way reasonable? To me, I can clearly see Beyonce and Fernanda Motta are making a point explicitly to me. There's enough. It's not even a. It's like This, I think, is no longer plausibly deniable. This is like probable cause that it is so in line with things I've already been saying. Also, I think this woman, Anna Beatrice, whatever, I think she's another one of those dudes that's like, I think she just has a gay husband and her kids are like gay, like not, I don't know if her kids are gay, but like, it just, the whole point is to be like, teach the straight men something, and it's like, you only end up hurting someone like me. Most of the other straight men don't give a fuck. And then, you're just making gay men look bad when you're doing shit like that. So I just, FYI, like, because I don't have an issue with gay men, except there's a pattern of evidence that a number of gay men have been used to like abuse me through women that I'm connected to that they aren't. Even if you have kids with them, if somehow there's a situation going on, I don't know about her, but I can say like with Alessandra Ambrosio or with like Beyonce, it's like Beyonce and Jay-Z are making points to me. So clearly, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking clearly, I'm the one that they're connected to, or at least Beyonce's connected to, because seems like more than anything she calls the shot in the relationship. And seems like more than anything she's just owned by fucking people too. So I'm like, has nothing to do with her being black, though I think it looks bad on black people. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm pretty sure like all the other, black people are like, yo, the fuck are you doing to Matt? They're like, y'all need to stop. Because this is also a problem because I am mixed, and it's like my intentions are clear. My reality is what it is. I don't believe I'm racist when I say things about Arabs. Prove me wrong, but most of them are Muslim, and Islam is a rape religion that I can literally just like eviscerate. There is no apologetics that stands up to even just the most basic. Yahweh is a name. Allah is a title that belongs to Yahweh in the Old Testament that Muhammad took to add and give to a different deity who changes what Yahweh has said. That eviscerates Islam on the face of it, but all the beast from the earth stuff, I mean, all that stuff is easy to like. It's easy to cut. There's no legs to stand on for Islam. So, okay. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. I'm just like, I think my innocence, at least to me, I feel very okay. Like, I feel very okay. I don't think I'm the one that's in the wrong here. Here's me eating laughing octopus. Alessandra, you're so tasty. Kind of orange, right? Looks like it almost matches the dynamo there. One of the little octopi tentacles fell off. The octopuses. Also, I made a joke about Alessandra being my octopussy. It feels like a James Bond thing that's going on. What do we got next? Send me all the cherries. Make up for, taking all the cherries from me. Got a nice assortment of candies here. Candy. Anyway, I don't have anything else to add, honestly. I'm just, I was eating some trolleys. I'm just trolling at the end here. I mean, this little last bit, but just to make a point. I'm tired of this. I'm over this. I think it's indisputable that Beyonce is harassing me at this point. It's not even, it was laughable like 2 weeks ago. It's just undeniable now. It ain't even fucking close. So, okay. I guess we'll see where this goes, but I don't think anywhere good for them. I think I'm fine, but as people even seem to be suggesting, man, I haven't done anything. In fact, let's end this with this. I'm just gonna watch a little bit more of what he has to say here. So let's watch this.
That's it, bro. Oh, regret blocking your shit, or regret not socializing, not telling the damn truth, not telling the people. Like, bro, you need to tell these motherfuckers, bro, because what they're doing right now, team, they're creating the fuck out of enemies, and they are little. They don't know that. When these people feel like, I mean, when these people find out how deep of a situation they got them into by lying to them to get them to take the money or whatever the fuck they done did, bro. These people go like I'm talking people taking the money doing all this shit. They're gonna want to take out your sister figure. They're gonna want to take out the people. They're gonna want them gone. You don't got me fucked up this deep, bitch. No, you're about to be gone. Since they worried about revenge on you, you ain't dead shit. These people are actually doing shit to other people. So when they find out how fucked they are because of these other people, bro, they're going to take them the fuck out. That's all that painful ending shit and all that extra shit. Yeah. So they should be thinking about that. Why they want to keep, yeah. You know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. You got the shit coming back to them, nigga. That could be shot with my clone. Everything that's coming back to shot with my clone, we got in the past. That's them blocking your shit. In the past, the shit got blocked. It could be someone trying to come in and fuck up your stability, bro. In the past, you blocked this weirdo. You block people. Nobody cares about what they're trying to do. The fuck? They need to move on, bro. Yet they're still determined, still in whatever battle. This is moving on, bro. That's probably the court battle with your family. That's for anybody else that's blocking your shit to try to fuck up your stability to help these people out. It's already evidence. And it's already evident that you're good here and all that extra shit. No one cares, bro. We go through this every day. There's that court.
Yeah, remember the book of Daniel, and so therefore the book of Revelation, but the book of Daniel is about a court case, and judgment is had in the favor of the saints of the Most High, and one like a son of man, and one on the Ancient of Days. At this point, my dad seems kind of Ancient of Daisy to me, but Rayfield Wilkins, but I feel very much like even at this point, I feel kind of ancient. The way people like the way I'm having to look at you know look at this as this shit's going on, and I've had to be stuck in this situation for like 30 years or whatever the fuck, however long. It's been a long time. It needs to end. I'm tired of it.
Court battle with your family for this goddamn inheritance, bro. Who cares, bro? We go through this every day. There's that court battle with your family for this goddamn inheritance, bro. They need to move on because of that alone. And the investigation that ensues after that. Why the fuck niggas need cars to say everything, bitch? Be smart sometimes. The fuck? Yeah, got disorganized as fuck. The shit is disorganized as a bitch and they going to jail. Bite, bite, bitch. Surprise, bitch. Why would you be surprised, bitch? It's disorganized as fuck. And y'all been doing this plan for a long time. You think that you've covered up every single track? Fuck no. You've actually like fucked it up so bad that you're just creating more of a track for yourself every day that you do this. Because
He's not wrong. I mean, they've been doing it so long and they're so sloppy at this point. That's why fucking Beyonce doesn't care at this point, right? But at some point, like something has to actually stop her from okay, why is there a double standard around me? Like I'm the bad guy when I do or did something, but like these people who have more money than they need to, more influence, more everything than they need to. Why is it all right that they do it? Is it because they have more money than they need to and they pay people off? What is it?
you're just creating more of a track for yourself every day that you do this.
And I'm going to say this. When you go back, and I'm talking about here, and this is the 30th, May 30th, 2017, and I'm saying exactly 2,520 days. And we're going here, and we're at exactly 2,520 days. And I'm describing here, like if Revelation 20 is literal, this talking about Russia and those countries allied with it attacking Israel, specifically Jerusalem. Ezekiel 38:39, we looked at that earlier because that Persia thing. The farthest north, bordering the Black Sea, is Russia. If you draw a straight line up from Israel, you're going to land in Moscow. I mean, it's like it almost is perfect. If you just go straight north from Jerusalem, you get to Russia, and that is the furthest north country from Israel. So just FYI. I mean, it seems crazy to me that this shit's still going on, but it doesn't look like they're aligned with, whatever, as much as they claim to be Christian. So this would seemingly be the battle described in Revelation 19 and 20, which I also think is Armageddon, because I think some people come from the east, Persia, Iran, and they come from the east, and like, you know, once they get to the Valley of Megiddo, Armageddon. So, and you can just go through this. This is literally 2,520 days ago. How many times have I described that I'm using this thing to play this out over a long period because, well, you can just pause it and read what it's saying. But and I'm meek, not weak. Hey, United States Marine Corps. Uh, the Machine Corps. But anyway, and this is me talking to Haley Baldwin's dad, trying to like, yo, what's up with Justin Bieber? I mean, is he just another one? Is he bi? Is he another gay dude that's like trying to make points? Why did half his face seem to shut off when this was going on? I mean, I just need answers. Doesn't seem like anybody's giving me answers. I also think this is a good, like it just is. This is what it is, right? Me saying this, me making points. Hey, look, the name Yoda is like is literally in the Bible. Did I prove out that the name Yoda was in the Bible? Yeah, I did. So, okay. And so, I left this. I made a point to both Jay Electronica and Stephen Baldwin. I think after I did this, Justin Bieber hopped on a track with Jay Electronica. They clearly know what's going on. Again, there's such a long term that I've done this. There's no getting out of it for him. Like, you're done. This is it. That's the end. Congrats. You really fucked yourselves over. You really fucked everything up. Even looking at this, God sent, right? Jay, not John Wick. That's the joke. Not John Wick at GameDom.com or GamDom.com, and it's God sent, right? Is the sticker that's a Counter Strike team. And then I got not John Wick's AK-47 also, and it's a cowboy hat. Oh, who's doing the cowboy thing these days? Beyonce? Oh, this was 2,520 days ago. I wonder if there's some specific thing about 2,520 days ago that might be really fucking obvious to me, but, to people who don't perceive time like I do, it doesn't make sense. Except now it should maybe make a bit of sense. Maybe. Right? Hey, look, Justine Skye. I wonder what. Let's see what's going on with Justine Skye. Oh, I'm blocked. Means she clearly knows who the fuck I am. They're trying to make points to me. Again, just evil fucking rapey people. And this is the spell jam. To all you magicians is fidgeting with the cobra. Yeah, Jay Electronica, to you, who's fidgeting with the cobra. Sudden death. Spell jam EP. And to sudden death. To all these magicians is fidgeting with the cobra. I can use him to say, I can use two sides to say points to each other. Right? Does that sound like some Yoda shit when you actually see how Yoda deals with stuff in Star Wars? Not that I believe in Star Wars, but it seems like an IP knockoff. So anyway, I'm just like at a certain point, it's just like, here, there you go. Okay, I don't, I could just keep going, but like, hey, this is the last one. I've been saying this. Doesn't the Great Commission imply that the Father and Holy Spirit also have names, a single name? Go baptize them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. You're not supposed to say in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. You're supposed to say in the name of Yahweh. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. But this very clearly says, everyone who calls on the name Yahweh shall be delivered. So, calling on Lord, Lord will not deliver you. Calling on Yahweh will deliver you. Okay, just making sure you understand. I've been saying this for a long time. That's why when he's describing, you know, we'll give it one more. We'll give one more play for a moment, and then that's it.
Apparently you can't go without paying niggas. Apparently you can't even stop watching the damn team, bro. Even when the team ain't on whatever platform they get on, you got people stalking them in the physical, all that bitch. All niggas is going to jail for real, bro. You can't do that. You leave people alone, bro. Family.
They turned me into Dr. Manhattan. Leave me alone. Olivia Munn's got cancer. King of England's got cancer. Kate's got cancer. People around me have gotten cancer recently, and mostly if they're around me, I prayed for them. They ungot cancer. All of a sudden, miraculously, they no longer have cancer. I said ungot, but you get what I'm saying. They don't have cancer anymore. I wonder why. But leave me alone. That's what I'm trying to say. I appreciate this dude's message. You should go subscribe to him or something. I don't know. I don't. Do I believe in magic? I believe in Yahweh. So I also say this. Coming on the clouds in Hebrew. And I saw in the night vision, behold, one like a son of man. He came with the clouds of heaven. So you click clouds. An. Like An job, but An. No, this is A and N. Is that the Japanese fucking A and N? Because again, they live in a place that's their entire civilization is right next to a volcano and can be earthquaked really easily. And multiple times in my reality, you've seen that when people have fucked with me, Yahweh has made a point to like shake Japan or blow up an earthquake. I mean, to shake Japan or blow up a volcano. Like, it just is. And he shall restore the land fourfold. Hey, is that why I get four? Do I get four? Um, but you go to this. So the word for cloud ends up being the same as cover, cloud, covering, act covertly. That is, practice magic, enchanter, observer of time, soothsayer, to make appear, soothsayer, enchanter, sorceress, diviner, fortune teller, barbarian, witchcraft, augury, whatever. Oh, is this what it means by Jesus comes on the clouds? Yeah, it would seem like they're the same word. Yeah, it's a black, it's like cloudy mass, a dark covering. It says the nimbus. Hey, isn't that what, or thundercloud? Who rides on the cloud? All those knockoffs of Yahweh like Goku and, specifically Goku, Sun Wukong. But, here's the nimbus. This is why he flies around on a cloud with a pole and a staff. So, anyway, leave me alone. That's what I'm getting at. This is the last thing.
Family or not, my nigga, bro. What is up with you? You know what I mean? And team, this ain't your family. This is your family. You know what I mean? I love all of you, nigga.
There you go. All right. I'm going to end it there. But that's just the reality. And when he did that, remember I showed the thing, the people? The people are my family. I don't care what your race is. You're on my team, Yahweh's team. In the kingdom of heaven, you'll be good. If you are. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you believe in Jesus, believe in Yahweh, right? Jesus' whole point of the Lord thing is, hey, if you call on the name of Yahweh when all this is happening, you'll be good. That's what it says. It doesn't even say, it literally doesn't say anything other than if you call on the name. It doesn't even matter if you have been, it doesn't say that you've been a good person. It doesn't say this, that, or the other. If you call on the name of Yahweh. Now, biblically, like by the New Testament, Jesus says, so Yahweh came and said this. So Jesus, when he came, he's Yahweh, and he came and said this. It's what you believe, right? And what Paul seems to suggest is if you believe in Jesus, and this is even what Jesus is saying, he's the only mediator between God and man, between Yahweh, between man and Yahweh, Jesus, right? So you gotta believe in Jesus because there's a different form of Yahweh. So, like they're trying to make Hashem or whatever. They don't want to say his name. They don't want to do what he says. They don't want to whatever. Okay. If you believe in Jesus, though, you're good. Gal Gadot, you believe in Jesus yet? It looks like I'm in Superman mode, kind of. Like I could be there like that. Probably if like I'm gonna force this situation into whatever, but it looks like I'm either in Superman mode or Batman mode. But one of them, I'm about to be in both modes and have both eyes and be, seems pretty buffed as far as like if we're talking about this like some kind of fucking RPG or something. So and pretty buffed like this. They called me Buff Jesus in jail. I mean, they called me Jesus and Buff Jesus. Shout out to Chinchilla Purple. But yeah, Young Gravy. But anyway, and I don't know, was he cool? I mean, I think he was cool enough. I mean, I don't trust anybody these days, but okay. I'm gonna end that here. I don't have anything else to add. I'm gonna go get some food, and you know, hopefully this shit will end soon. So please just end this. I can't I'm asking, but like Yahweh is going to force. I'm asking, but at the point that my right leg clicks into place, I think we're at the sixth. Like we're at some point where it's undeniable, indisputable. Two witnesses standing in front of the throne are going to be at me repenting in sackcloth and ashes, and then we're really at the 1260 days. And since it looks like they're about to sacrifice the red heifers and start sacrifices again at the third temple, and without even building a third temple, yeah, I think we're about to be there. So I guess this, Alessandra and Andra Ambrosio, if you are my friends and my dogs and my, wives or whatever the fuck you are, can you, in the least, can you just come and like talk? Can we talk? Yeah, how about this? Can Alessandra come? But I mean, I think both of them should come. But yeah, can we talk? Can we engage this face to face? Because this shit is not. This isn't stopping, and like you're going to be forced. Whether it's either a good forcing you or a bad forcing you. But what has already transpired, if you aren't on my side, it's not a good look for you. You're done. So, hope you're on my side. Cool. Yay. Hey, wifeys. Hey. Hey, my doggies. Yay. I love my doggies or my cats, whatever. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. But that's it. So, have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. Later. Yeah.